Benson for the point.
Back to Benner through the block and down.
Field goal. Back to pass. He'll look to fire deep and intercepted. Stretchy diving. He's in.
Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
And a good Friday evening. This is the Irie Insurance pregame show here on your live event. It's homecoming night for the Fargo South Spartans as they welcome the West Fargo Packers into town for a non-region contest here on this Friday of September the 24th. Chase Miller with you. Cameraman is Chris Crick, and this is the Irie Insurance pregame show. And tonight, the West Fargo Packers coming off a win against the Fargo Davies Eagles a week ago. Tonight, they got their rushing game going in which West Fargo outscored Davies 28-0 in the first half. West Fargo running back Parker Nelson had 3 rushing touchdowns in the first 2 quarters, and Nelson finished with 161 yards rushing on 27 attempts with 4 touchdowns for West Fargo. On the opposite side, it was a right down the wire for Fargo South at Cushman Field in Grand Forks. They come up short against Red River. Carter Byron made a 32-yard field goal in the fourth quarter for the Rough Riders to get the win over South. Dorian Sandisto had a nice performance for the Bruins, 114 yards rushing on 17 attempts, while Kobe Nissen hit Jack Corbel for a 17-yard touchdown with 3:19 left to play in the fourth quarter. A year ago, West Fargo defeated Fargo South here at South High 35-20, in which Parker Nelson rushed for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win. Still to come on our Irie Insurance pregame show, we'll hear from both head coaches. West Fargo head coach Jay Gibson, and he is in his 31st season as the head coach of the Packers, and we'll hear from Fargo South head coach Tyler Kozla as well in his 5th season for the Fargo South Bruins. The Bruins at 1-3 on the season. The West Fargo Packers sit at 2-2. It's homecoming night here for Fargo South, and this is the Irie Insurance pregame show. We come back after this. We'll hear from West Fargo head coach, that's Jay Gibson, on your live event.
We built Irie Insurance with one philosophy: hire great people and provide great service and options. We want to help protect your home, farm, crops, personal, and your businesses. Hello, this is Shane with Irie Insurance, and since day one, we have followed this golden rule to help protect you. That's why we have so many locations like West Fargo, Devil's Lake, Hope, Hillsboro, Mackville, and Towner. To find out more about Irie Insurance, go to IrieInsurance.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical North Dakota high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Pregame show here tonight. It's the West Fargo Packers and the Fargo South Bruins. With us is West Fargo head football coach, that's Jay Gibson. And Jay, last week, taking a look at your game against Fargo Davies, I think the rush game really stood out, particularly Parker Nelson. What did you see from the guys up front, and how do you hope that carries over here for the second half of the regular season?
Yeah, to be honest with you, even to this point, we have 280 yards rushing in 3 games. So that's 90 yards a game, and this is North Dakota high school football. You got to run the ball. So the scheduling gods were not good to us. Cheyenne is really a wonderful team, and we couldn't get an inch against them. And then we had to play Century, who is as good or maybe even better, and we really had trouble. So coming into last week's game, I think we had about 60 yards rushing. And I think playing 2 quality teams like Cheyenne and Century, and we had a really good game, the first game of the year against Minot. But I just think your competition is so stiff, I think you start to pick it up. And now the scoreboard didn't show that we maybe were improving, but I really thought we improved because we came out in Davies. I think our talent is comparable, and my goodness, we ran the ball, and the guys up front, didn't make mistakes. They kept contact, kept their feet going, and so it was just so much better. And it was such a relief to be able to call 2 or 3 running plays in a row and not have to throw the ball to Carson.
And you mentioned Carson Hagerly, and he committed to NDSU earlier in the week. Not just him, Jay, but you've had a lot of really quality athletes come through this program, that whether it's a Valley City State, a D2, D1, what's it like as a coach when you see the 3-4 years of hard work pay off on what they did on the football field, and particularly Carson? What has he meant to this program the last couple of years?
Well, normally it's not 4 years, but in Carson's instance, it is 4 years. Carson, Micah Arnold was the receiver coach, our receiver coach back at that time, and we were just kind of evaluating kids, and I said, well, which one do you think is the best? And I'm kind of looking over at Baron Cott, who was only a sophomore. He was only a sophomore, and I can't remember I don't want to diss anyone, but I can't remember the seniors at that time. But he goes, that guy, and I said, he's a 9th grader, and he goes, he is, but he catches everything. And he's still slender. When the guy fills out to be a man, he's going to be a heck of a football player. I think the Bison got themselves, they got themselves a good player, because physically he's immature. But when you watch him play in the high school level, he's heads and tails above everyone on the field. It's really amazing. Anyway, I've kind of got off topic there, but the recruiting process now is different. There's people on internet that rate kids, and you're a 1-star, you're a 4-star, you're this, you're that. We don't get many stars in North Dakota. That's more for the bigger metropolitan areas, but so it's just totally different. I know Zach Willis a couple years ago was recruited by all of the local schools because the guy was 6'5" and 275, and he could move, so he was actually, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. We played 7-on-7 in the summer, and Gravdahl couldn't be there, so we didn't have a quarterback. And Willis was our quarterback. But that means he's a good athlete because he could throw the ball like 55 yards. Anyway, he went out and got on the internet and made a page and showed video. And so this is way different. In 1975, when they came to talk to me, they came into our house. The coaches sat down and met Mrs. Gibson and met Jay, and they talked to you, and then they left, and then they probably gave you another phone call in February to say, who are you going to go for? And there was no TV episode where you have 7 hats and you pick the hat that you pick. So it's all fun. Everything's turned into fun and games now. But I think it's put a whole bunch of pressure on because, back in the day, you just didn't have that pressure. I wanted to go into accounting, so I picked UND.
And Jay, I can continue to ask more questions about recruiting, but I'll ask you one final question here about your opponent tonight in Fargo South, because I think a lot of people, going back to 1975, going back to 90, 2000, West Fargo and South, a lot of people knew that was a big game. Yes. Conference game. If you win that game, you're probably going to have an inside track on winning the conference championship, hosting a home playoff game, and a lot of other things that come with it. This year, it's not a conference game, but the rivalry is still there. Only a couple miles between the two programs. What does this game mean in terms of this year in 2021, Jay, and what the Bruins will provide as a challenge here later tonight?
Yeah, it is. No, it's definitely different because the Feeney years, and then that's just for you people that are listening here, but it's really the hurdle years. When I moved here, you had to, if you were going to win anything, you had to go through South, and they were a dominant program. And of course, with the splitting and having multiple schools and demographics change, they don't have 100 players 10 through 12 anymore. In fact, they have even lower numbers than us, and we're at 55 players 10 through 12. So right now it's a little bit lean over there for depth. They have really good athletes. I watched the JV game on Monday, and they've got guys that can just fly. They are super quick. They don't have a lot of big people, and neither do we. So I think the matchup is really good. I don't know if they have anyone that can match Parker Nelson He's an awful good running back, and of course Hagerly signing with the Bison is an awful good receiver. So offensively, we like those two, and you know, Josh Ballstead is our middle linebacker, and he's incredible. He's only a junior. He's playing fullback for us. I've never used a fullback, but he's a natural at fullback, and he's a natural at linebacker. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to block him too.
Hey, Jay, as always, I appreciate the time. Best of luck here later tonight against Coach Kozel and Fargo South.
Thank you.
Fargo South, again, the Bruins come in at 1-3 on the season on homecoming night, but that was West Fargo head coach Jay Gibson, 2 wins away from reaching the 200-win mark in his career for the West Fargo Packers. Again, 31 years as a head coach over in West Fargo. We'll take a quick time out on our Irie Insurance pregame show. When we continue after this, we heard from the Packers side. Now we're going to go into that Bruin den here and hear from head coach Tyler Kozel, talk about a very close game up at Grand Forks River last week. Also, a couple players that are starting to step up as underclassmen here for the Bruins. We'll talk about that and more. Get you the starting lineups and the opening kick tonight from Fargo South. It's West Fargo, and alongside Fargo South, it's 11A versus 11AA tonight in North Dakota for high school football on your live event.
Going to EDC, I found out way more than just like sports. I met a lot of people just on my floor, and then different activities you could go to that were on campus. I for sure will look back on all the memories and love it. My name is Grace, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to a meeting, like everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
If you're in need of Minnesota and/or North Dakota high school athletics coverage, head to yourliveevent.com so you don't miss out on moments like these.
Straight up the middle, bounces, he's open, he's down the field, touchdown, Nuggets!
Go to our YouTube page at Your Live Event, powered by Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated.
Intercepted!
Follow us on Twitter at Your Live Event 1 and on Facebook at Your Live Event.
If you want help from a firm who has integrity, respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the benefit of the community, then look no further than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys are dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsboro, and Castleton, or visit our website at www.onsteadlaw.com.
Since 1981, Park Christian School has been educating the next generation of leaders in the Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo area. Park Christian's thoroughly Christian education and commitment to academic excellence has resulted in a confident tradition of student success. Students graduate from Park Christian School strong in their faith and well prepared for the rigors of college, career, and relationships. Call 218-236-0500 to schedule your visit or go online to parkchristianschool.org. Back on our Irie Insurance pregame show with us here, Fargo South head coach Tyler Kozel, as they host the West Fargo Packers here tonight on a little Friday night lights here in the latter part of September. And Tyler, I know when we first talked a couple weeks ago playing against Fargo North, you mentioned there was a lot of sophomores, juniors, maybe some seniors who haven't had Friday night experience. Every day you wanted some growth. Every week you've wanted some growth. I know the results haven't been there with the record, but the last 2 games, a win at Valley City, 1-score game at Red River. How have you seen that grow since Fargo North, Tyler?
Yeah, we've got a few injuries, too, we're having to deal with, so a lot of guys are playing in some new spots and battling every day, and we're getting better, and we got to continue to play our best football. We got a great test here tonight with West Fargo. We've been seeing the growth. Last week didn't turn the football over, which is huge for us. We kind of stalled out on some drives, but defense, we were playing really good with a young group, so it's good to see. All's not lost, but we'd like the record to be a little bit different, but our kids are battling every day and they're playing hard, so that's the big thing. You know, speaking of some of the guys that maybe stand out, Dorian Sanish, just explosive might be a word to describe him when he runs, and also Zach Thomason at linebacker. It seems like he's flying all over. What are those 2 guys kind of brought in the first half of the season? Yeah, they were 2 that got some reps towards the end of last season for us. Dorian, now he's a sophomore, played as a freshman, and Zach is a sophomore, now as a junior, and the game slowed down for him. So they're both physical players. They have great physical attributes. Dorian been running the ball really hard for us with absence of Kobe Jones still. He's been a nice spark plug for us. And then Zach on defense kind of settled in for Kobe's spot too, making a lot of tackles, getting us aligned. He's been doing a tremendous job. He's a physical player. So those two guys have been two very big bright spots for us.
On the opposite side, you're going up against a guy who just committed earlier this week to North Dakota State, had a lot of offers, a lot of attention, and Carson Hagerly. I know he's not the only one because they have Parker Nelson, who had a big game against Fargo Davies last week. But when you put on the film, what do you see from a Jay Gibson-led Packer team?
Well, they're all obviously really well coached, and they play hard with Coach Gibson. I mean, that's the MO of that team. They're going to get after you for 4 quarters, and even when they've been more talented, less talented, it's going to be a dogfight regardless. And he's got some very talented players on that end. We've been dealing with Carson since he's a freshman. He played against us as a freshman, so we know him very well. And Parker ran really well last year, and so those are two guys we got to take care of and stop. And they've been having a heck of a senior year, so they're going to pose some challenges for us tonight. But I know with our guys defensively, we're going to kind of do some things that we can, and we've been playing pretty well on defense, but we got to know we're 16 and 23 are at all times. That's one big thing.
Last thing for you here, Tyler, for a lot of people, a little different this year, not being an EDC conference game with the Bruins and the Packers. A lot of people go back how many decades where this was the game that you circled on the schedule, and if you knew who was going to win it, had a pretty good shot to win the EDC. Does it still feel like a rivalry game? Does it still feel like everything's there because it's only 1 year since you guys were technically a conference rivals here, Tyler?
Oh, definitely, and that's the big thing with having this young group of sophomores. This is a big deal. This is a big rivalry between them. They want to beat you. So just getting the guys up for that. It's Packer week, and we've had battles the last couple of years, and I know tomorrow we're going to give the best effort, and they're going to come over here and want to beat us. So with that, it's going to be a fun game. I like coaching against Coach Gibson. He posed a lot of good things, and it's going to be another fun night of football, and we're just excited to get going.
Tyler, as always, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck against the West Side.
All right, thank you.
Tyler Kozel, head coach for the Fargo South Bruins, with us here on our Irie Insurance pregame show. And yeah, it's crazy to think that these two programs, it's not a conference game. And as we mentioned, both with Jay Gibson and Tyler Kozel on our Irie Insurance pregame show, you know, you go over the years and generations of fans that have been part of the West Fargo and Fargo South rivalry. You circled this game on the calendar knowing if you won against Fargo South or if you won against the Packers, you probably set yourself up for either a 1 or 2 seed from the East. You probably set yourself up for at least having a home playoff game and a lot of other stuff that came with it. But for this year, again, with the new divisions of 11AA and 11A, this is a non-region game. And then talking to both coaches throughout the week, too, these are games where now you kind of look at it and say, do you need to play a particular player if you're healing or nursing an injury? If this was a conference game, you might tell someone, hey, let's try to get you some reps, see how you feel, and let you go. But now since it's a non-conference game, you can leave 1 or 2 players out. There's still QRF, which is going to determine a lot in 11AA when it comes to seed lines. But if you're Fargo South with a lot of regional games yet against Wahpeton, Grand Forks Central, and company of that nature, those games mean a little bit more now than this game against West Fargo, even though it is a rival. But it is technically a non-conference game between these two opponents. And when you go back to when the Dakota Bowl started in 1993, a lot of history in both these sides. The West Fargo Packers, 6 state championships, their first in 93 over South, 6-2 in a Schlabberknocker. The last state title for the Pack was in 2017, Andy Gravdahl and company, a 56-28 win over Minot High. For the Fargo South Bruins, 6 titles since the Dakota Bowl started as well, and 5 runner-up. The last time they made the championship was in 2013, a 42-34 win over Bismarck High. And West Fargo is 7-1 in the last 8 against the Bruins. They won back-to-back. Last win for Fargo South, October the 5th of 2018, in which the Bruins won 14-6 against the West Fargo Packers. And fans, a reminder, the Bruin Booster Club supports the students' ability to participate in South High activities while promoting school spirit and encouraging parent and community support for the Bruins. To become part of the Bruin Booster Club, go to the activities section of the Fargo South website and click on Booster Club for more information. Again, go to Fargo South's homepage and click on the Bruin Booster Club for more information. Scoreboard tonight, some games already underway. Homecoming at Fargo Shanley as well. Jamestown going up against the Deacons. That game kicked off at 6 o'clock tonight. A game that kicked off at 6:30, Cheyenne at Bismarck Legacy. in the capital city. And then Red River at Fargo North for North's homecoming. That game kicked off at 6 o'clock as well. So we'll get to those scores at halftime. Also in your out-of-town scoreboard, Bismarck High at Davies on the south side of Fargo. Century and Mandan in a really good tilt in the WDA Minot High in Williston here tonight as well. So as the game concludes and as we get to halftime, we'll get you some of those out-of-town scores. That does it for our Irie Insurance pregame show. We come back. It's the starting lineups and the opening kick tonight on homecoming night for Fargo South as they entertain the West Fargo Packers here on your live event.
Degelman does put the effort and time into their employees by training them.
It's something that you think you couldn't do, but you can actually do it because you were trained to do it.
Once I got my confidence up, now I just feel pride.
I'm very proud to be leading the team that builds the toughest product in the manufacturing and agricultural industry.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With YourLiveEvent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with Your Live Event.
Just moments away here as we get ready for Fargo South and West Fargo High School football here on this Friday night. The sun in the west just about to go underneath that tree line, and the lights will come on for Friday night lights here between the 2-2 West Fargo Packers and alongside the 1-3 of Fargo South Bruins. The Fargo South Bruins won the opening coin toss and elected to defer to the second half, so we'll see the West Fargo Packers out to start with the football, and we'll start with the guys up front at left tackle as Braun, a 6'1 junior at 230. Chris Sather, a 5'10 senior left guard at 270. Carson 40 the center at 6'1 and a junior at 240. Nathaniel Schuster at right guard, a 5'11 senior, and Connor Lamb at right tackle at 5'11, 195 here for the guys up front. So left to right on the line, Braun, Sather, 40, Schuster, and Lamb here for the West Fargo Packers. The man in the backfield, quarterback, that's Peyton Jancy, the 6-foot senior at 180. Jancy has thrown for 665 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions so far on the season. Tailback, you have Parker Nelson, a 5'10 senior, 244 yards and 6 touchdowns. He racked up 4 rushing touchdowns in their win against the Fargo Davies Eagles a week ago from tonight. Carson Hagerly committed to North Dakota State earlier in the week on Wednesday. The 6'3 senior at 190 has 2 receiving touchdowns and 319 yards of receiving so far through the air for the Packers. At slot is Aaron Magnell, a 6'1 senior, split end of Caden Zapata, a 6'1" 160 senior with 7 receptions and a touchdown, and Jaden Grefsrud, 3 receptions for 36 yards for the 6' senior at 190 for the West Fargo Packers. The Packers out in their road white uniforms with silver pants and alongside the green numbers, a green helmet with the Packer emblem on either side. For the Fargo South Bruin defense, they'll run a 4-3-4 defensively. They're head coached by Tyler Coles. The defensive ends of Tyler Christensen, a 5'11 junior with 20 tackles and 1 sack so far on the year. Cole Kagba, a 6'1 sophomore at 175. Defensive tackles of Michael Barnes and Christian Skipple, a 6'4 senior at 235. Outside linebackers of Dorian Sandness, a 6' sophomore, and Zach Thomason, a 6'2 junior who leads the Bruins in tackles with 35.5 on the season. Kobe Nissen, the quarterback, also plays middle linebacker here for Fargo South, a 5'10 sophomore. Corners of Will Locker at 5'11 with 1 interception, and Jack Corbel, the 6' senior. Safeties of Seth Koskela and Emmanuel Spy here for the Fargo South Bruins. And Fargo South, who's handling the kickoffs and the punts, is Landon Dockin, and he is a special kicker here for Fargo South. Dockin is 5 of 6 on field goals for the year. He's made 1 from 40. He's 3 of 4 from 30 to 39. He's 1 of 1 from 29 yards and in. So for the Fargo South Bruins, their last couple of games, able to knock off Fargo South. Again, they were able to knock off Valley City in Valley City 2 weeks ago, 21-18. Then they lost to Grand Forks Red River, 12-9. Their last time out. On the opposite side for the West Fargo Packers, it's started with the win at Minot, 24-7. 2 losses against the top 2 rated teams in 11 AA football. Home to West Fargo, Cheyenne lost by 21. Then lost 2 weeks ago in Bismarck to Century in the Bowl, 41-13. And last week the Packers got things back on track with a 42-6 win against Fargo Davies a week ago here tonight. So it's the Fargo South Bruins and the West Fargo Packers. West Fargo head coached by Jay Gibson. Again, 31st season, 198 wins to 110 losses. For the Fargo South Bruins, head coached by Tyler Kozel, 21 wins to 20 losses on the year. For Fargo South, they got a lot of young players. You'll probably see anywhere from 4, 5, 6 sophomores playing on either side of the ball as the game moves along. For the West Fargo Packers, they're going to rely on some of these seniors and the Janseys, the Nelsons, the Hagerleys, who've gotten a lot of experience on Friday Night Lights as we get set to kick this thing off here in Fargo. Chris Crick, our cameraman, Chase Miller with you here on this Friday Night High School football. 4 12-minute quarters, and you get one in the end zone on the opening kickoff. It is a touchback here as Fargo South again won the coin toss, elected to defer. They'll go from the north to the south end zone here as the right-footed Donkin is ready to put this one on the tee as we get things underway a little bit after the 7 o'clock hour here at Fargo South. If your homecoming is tonight, well, you don't have to go far in Fargo to find a homecoming party, because you have North, South, and Davies and Fargo Shanley all at homecoming games here on this Friday. So 4 homecomings just in the city of Fargo alone. Dockin will put it on the near hash here. Standing back is Nelson and Hagerly. Hagerly, a dangerous returner for the West Fargo Packers. Guy who can get out in space, and if he gets to the numbers, look out. A little bit of a wind that's died down as the evening has gotten a little bit closer. And we're ready to get things underway here from Fargo South High School. Opening kickoff at 7:08 on this Friday, September the 24th. End over and kick, and Hagerly has a 2 yards deep. He wants to run it out, but he can't, as again it is in the end zone. And we're ready to get things underway. So West Fargo will start off with their first possession of the game in this first quarter. Ball will be 1st and 10 upcoming, and this will be spotted at the 25-yard line. as West Fargo will come out with Jancy again, the senior quarterback. 50th meeting between these two teams since 1975. Fargo South owns the win-loss record since 75 with 30 wins to 19 losses, but as of late you can put that Packer green stamp of approval on this series as West Fargo has won 7 of the last 8 contests here against their rival in Fargo South. Jancy comes out, pistol formation, 2 wide receivers near sideline. Fargo South with 4 down linemen. Handoff going right up the middle. That looks to be Parker Nelson, and it is on the run past the 25-yard line to the 27, so 7 yards on the rush there by Nelson. Good starting field position after one play here for West Fargo, something that Jay Gibson mentioned a couple of weeks, a really tough schedule going up against Cheyenne and Bismarck Century back-to-back. They try to get the ground game going against those two programs, unable to find much success, but it erupted last week against Davies, and they want to get back to that ground game because then you go one-on-one with Hagerly, and they're going to like that battle. Stretch play. Nelson puts his foot on the ground, past the 30, has a first down, past the 35, jumps a Bruin to about the 38-yard line. 11 yards on the rush. Nelson now 2 carries for 18 yards, and if you see anything early from West Fargo, 2 runs for 18 yards, that is exactly what Jay Gibson's going to want to do. Doesn't matter if it's against Fargo South, Bismarck Century, or Moorhead High. If they can get this run game going, look out for that deep play action to whether it's Zepeda or Carson Hagerly on the outside. Zepeda on the far side, Hagerly comes near side. Fargo South continues with 4 down linemen on first down and 10 for the Packers. Handoff right up the middle. Nelson cuts out, breaks a tackle for a moment, keeps the wheels turning past the 45. He's close to midfield before he gets taken down by a host of Bruins. Emmanuel Spy in on the tackle. That's going to be 8 yards on the rush for Nelson. Just like that, 3 carries for 26 yards. Everything has been with a 5'10 senior. That is Parker Nelson. Second down upcoming here for West Fargo. The Packers, 6 state titles again, 93, 98, 99, 02, 03, and 2017. When West Fargo's gotten to the Dakota Bowl, all that they've done is won. 6-0 all time in the Dakota Bowl history. Nelson, another play. This to the numbers, has the first down into Bruin territory as he gets pushed out of bounds by Sadness. But right now it's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's about 5, 6, 7 yards and some healthy gains here as he had it at the 46, goes to the Fargo South 47-yard line. Actually, they'll mark him at the 46, so another 8-yard gain here for Nelson. So far for Nelson, a rush of 7, 11, 8, and 8. First down and 10 West Fargo, and the opening nearly 2 minutes of this one has been all on the turf here for West Fargo. Hagerly splits out to the far side, Zepeda near side. Fargo South, they're going to bring some pressure. They bring 5. Jancy's going to evade a sack for a moment, then the Bruins come back and get him. Fargo South timed the blitz perfectly. They went all the way back. It's a 14-yard loss, and coming in on the sack is Tyler Christensen here for the Bruins. They came in with the middle linebacker of Kobe Nissen, and alongside they timed it perfectly, and then Christensen was just able to finish him off. Tyler Christensen gets his 2nd sack of the season. That's for a large loss of 14 yards. As we mentioned, if you get that run game going, you're going to see the play action, but the Bruins, well-executed design up the middle, brings some pressure. Zach Tomlinson, a 6'2 junior outside linebacker. Nissen plays middle linebacker, also the quarterback here for Fargo South. 2nd and a country mile. Jancy, play action, has some time, flips it down the field, incomplete at the 35-yard line. The intended receiver is Aaron Magnell, and he was wrapped up beautifully on the outside as Will Locker was there in on the coverage. Now what do you have in your good old playbook for 3rd and 24? Clock stops at 9:12 left to play here in the first quarter as Fargo South will try to get off the field on 3rd down here for West Fargo and Coach Gibson. You just look at it a little bit and ask yourself where you're going to be able to be at. That gets you a little bit closer here if you can get to maybe a 4th and 5 or 4th and 4 if you might decide to go for it. But 3rd down and long here for West Fargo. They need the Bruin 36. Jancy rolls to right-hand side, going deep down the field, looking for Zepeda. Zepeda incomplete. a little underthrown. Zepeda had to come back for it. Jack Corbel in on the coverage at the 25-yard line, incomplete. And the Fargo South defense gives up some rushing yards to Nelson, but they get the big sack. They disrupt the momentum of West Fargo, and they come out with a punt now for the Packers. Corbel in on the coverage. Zepeda had the step. Jancy's pass was a little underthrown, and now coming out to punt here for West Fargo is going to be Jancy. Punts it at the 30-yard line, a end-over-end wobbler that goes out of bounds at about the 41, and Fargo South will have good starting field position to start for the first time here tonight on the offensive side of the football. With 8:55 left to play here in the first quarter, Fargo South will handle it at their own. They're going to make it 42-yard line. The Bruins, led by Colby Nissen, the 5'10 sophomore at 180. On the season, 352 passing yards. Has rushed for $130. 2 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. And Tyler Colson just said we're just going to make it a little bit simpler for Colby. Every game he's learning as a sophomore. Nissen, 3-step drop. They're looking for the screen game. They got Sandis in the flat. Sandis to the 45. Breaks not one, but the second tackle he can't. Nice job by Josh Balstead in on the coverage. Able to get it before Sandis can get any more yards on the outside. That'll be 4 yards on the pitch and catch. And the first catch of the night for Sandis, his first one of the season as well. And a healthy 4 yards on first down for the Bruins. Bruins up front, left tackle, Christian Skipple. You have Graywind at left guard. Nelson, the senior center at 280. Christensen at right guard and Andrew Weber at right tackle, the 5'11 sophomore at 235. Second down and 6. Nissen in the gun. Another quick screen. Incomplete. Trying to climb the ladder was Jack Corbel as those going for that bubble screen. Makes it now 3rd down and 6 upcoming for Fargo South. Dorian Sandis at tailback. When we see the I formation from the Bruins, we'll see Zach Thomason out there. Wide receivers of Koskela and Corbel. We'll see a Spy, and you also have Kessel at tight end here for Fargo South. 3rd down and 6, the Bruins. They need the Packer 48 for the first. Ball on the far side of the field. Motion man going right to left is going to be Spy. We have one more motion man coming out here, and that's Hansgaard. They get the play off. This one's going to be intercepted by West Fargo right at midfield. Aaron Magnow comes up with that one, and the Packers get the first turnover of the night. A tough one goes there for Fargo South on the interception, and that's going to be their first turnover of the contest, and West Fargo will take over on their second possession with great field position at their own 49-yard line. This will be with 8:08 left to play in the first quarter. Trying to run a little hitch pattern there, but got crossed up a little bit to Nissen with his wide receiver, and Aaron McNell was just by himself, says thank you very much. We'll take that, and a first down for the West Fargo Packers right at midfield. Ball will be at the near hash. You have trips to the left-hand side. Coming out in the pistol is Jancy here for West Fargo. Tight end on the near side. Little read option. This goes to Nelson. Thomason is in on the tackle. Alongside with him, you have a Kagbach coming down at the defensive end spot. Nelson does get a couple, though, for the Packers. 5 carries for 36 yards already for the senior in Nelson. 7:45 and counting left to play here in our opening quarter. Make sure you go to your live event. Make sure you go to yourliveevent.com for, we got a number of games either in Minnesota or North Dakota tonight. Kindred at Oak Grove is one of them. Lisbon against Central Cass, an intriguing 11B game. Parker Nelson skats his way past the 45, makes a cut back in at the hash to the 44-yard line. 4 yards on the rush for Nelson. 6 carries now for 40 yards. Jancy 0 for 2 through the air right now. Nelson 6 carries for 40 yards, and Jancy again got that big sack in the last possession. See if West Fargo can take advantage of the interception here, as what we've seen over the years from head coach Jay Gibson's squad. If you're the quarterback, get ready to get the odometer out. You're going to be doing a lot of running to the sideline, get the play, break the huddle, and get ready to go. 10 seconds on the play clock here for the Packers. Handoff. This one comes to near side on the stretch. Nelson gets the numbers, has the first down past the 40 as he gets pushed out of bounds into the Fargo South bench on the near side. That'll be enough for the first down. Ball was previously spotted at the 43. They'll mark at the 38 for a first. 7 carries for 45 yards here for Parker Nelson. And the Packers get the first down. Last year, Parker Nelson had a phenomenal game against Fargo South as he was able to rush for 3 touchdowns and 220 yards on the ground against the Fargo South Bruins. 11 AA standings, West Fargo Cheyenne at 4-0. Shanley, West Fargo, and Davies all at 2-2 respectively in AA. The Packers in the latest poll tied for third with the Deacons. That's a high snap. Jancy just has to get back on it at the 49-yard line, as that's going to be a loss of +10. That'll be a loss of 12 on the play, and now second down and 22 upcoming. So Jancy with the sack, and now one that goes over his head, and heads up play there by the senior in Payton, just saying, you know what, try not to be too cute with it and pick it up and run. Let's just make sure we get on it. We still have a couple downs here to try to get 5-10 yards and maybe make 4th down and short. But we'll see where the Packers go here. They got one wide receiver, new halfback in the backfield. This one going to be bounced out to left-hand side here for West Fargo. The Packers get to the 45 and met to the 40-yard line. Dorian Harley gets the rush for the first time here tonight. That's about 10 yards, so you get most of that high snap back, and now third down here at the Bruin 41. If you're West Fargo, probably another 7-8 yards, and you're going to be thinking going for it here on 4th down. Midway point of the first half, third possession of this quarter combined, the second for West Fargo. They have Hagerly split out to the near side here, Ballstead in the backfield. This one, Tarley gets it again, able to get to the numbers at the 40, cuts in at the 35, and gets close to that 30-yard line. Nice positive gain to the 32-yard line, so 9 yards on the rush. And now what you're going to do is allow the old ball coach there and Jay Gibson to drop a 4th and 5 play and try to get past the Bruin 28 for the first. What we're seeing now, if you have Tarley in there, you have Parker Nelson able to kind of give one arrest, get the other guy in there. Tarley, a 5'10 senior at 175. Hagerly splits out left-hand side. Zepeda near sideline. Jancy in the pistol formation. Another high snap. Jancy tries to get out of a tackle. He can't as Christensen comes in and gives him a Bruin bear hug back of the 40-yard line. An 8-yard loss. And West Fargo just stubs their toe a little bit, not once but twice on the snap. And the West Fargo offense will have to come off the field after the Bruin defense gets a turnover on downs. So you have a punt and then a turnover on downs here for the West Fargo Packers. And for Fargo South, that turnover doesn't come back and haunt you, as they'll have it at 5:03 left to play in the first quarter at their own 40-yard line here for the Bruins. Coming up in a moment, we'll get to the West Fargo defense. 1st and 10, Kobe Nissen, shotgun formation, and just coming out of a cannon with the tackle is Ballstead back at the 40-yard line. Nissen able to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. Defensive ends of Carter Hansen and Lucas make that 10 or 9. Defensive tackles of Jacob Bild and Lucas Allen and Connor Lamb at nose guard. Ballstead and Porter, the linebackers, with the corners of Magnell and Hagerly. Zepeda and Nelson at the safety spot here for West Fargo. West Fargo showing a little 4-man front. Jay Gibson always a guy that has believed in the 5-2, but depending on the team, and a team that likes to run a little stretch and spread option, you'll have a little bit more of a 4-man front. Zepeda able to get a hard-earned yard, and that's about it before he's wrapped up right at about the line. In on the tackle, Carter Hansen in on the tackle, as Nissen able to get 2 yards and brings up 3rd down and 8. And for Bruin fans, this has been something they've seen a lot here in 2021. 3rd and not 3 or 2, but 3rd and 7, 8, and 9. So we'll see what the Bruins can do here. Nissen in the shotgun. 3-step drop, looks, pocket collapses. Nissen at the 40. Now he tries to run for the first down, and he can't. As coming in is Connor Lamb in on the tackle. Nissen gets a yard, and the turnover on downs for West Fargo. Their defense comes up and going to force a 3 and out. Now, Bruins, 6 offensive plays so far here tonight, an interception, and then you have the punt. Makes it 4th down upcoming here for Fargo South with 3:30 left to play here in this first quarter. And coming on to punt is going to be Dockett. Hagerly back at the 20-yard line. Dockett here, the junior, also handles kickoffs and the field goals A right-footed boot, end over end. Hagerly at the 25. Hagerly at the 30. Cuts back in at the hash. 35-40. Hagerly 45-50. Hagerly 40. Hagerly 30, and he gets pushed out of bounds. Hagerly almost had a 75-yard score. Instead, a punt return. That was an absolute beauty. That goes to the 33-yard line. So Hagerly almost gets a 50-yard punt return. I'll go for 43, but he was one step away from taking that one to the house. The West Fargo Packers, their third possession of this opening quarter at the 3:02 mark, will start into Bruin territory at the Bruins' 33-yard line. Hagerly, not a guy you want to meet in a track meet, particularly the 50 or the 100-meter dash. Packers will come out here. Hagerly lines up at the near hash, and right up the middle is Nelson. And then coming in on the tackle for the Fargo South Bruins is going to be Brody Anderson. Anderson able to come up and get that tackle for 2 yards there for Parker Nelson. Workman-like game, 8 carries for 47 yards. Homecoming night here for Fargo South. A couple players on that homecoming court. Jack Corbel, Seth Coskella, Riley Anir, some of the players here for the Bruins on the homecoming court earlier this week. Second down and 8, Jancy play action. Looking for Hagerly across the middle. Now they go backside to Zepeda. Zepeda at the 20. Zepeda at the 15 makes a man miss. Zepeda walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Packers! It goes for 31 yards, and the Pack is on the board as they lead it 6-0 here late in the first quarter. 31 yards for the score. Caden Zepeda gets his second touchdown of the season. Now 8 receptions for over 180 yards. And a nice job, Caden Zepeda from Peyton Jancy, as Hagerly comes on for the point after attempt. Zepeda will hold, little high snap. Zepeda gets it down, and Hagerly with a line drive rocket. It's good. New score, the Packers 7, the Bruins scoreless late in the first quarter here on your live event.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
We built Irie Insurance with one philosophy: hire great people and provide great service and options. We want to help protect your home, farm, crops, personal, and your businesses. Hello, this is Shane with Irie Insurance, and since day one, we have followed this golden rule to help protect you. That's why we have so many locations like West Fargo, Devils Lake, Hope, Hillsboro, Mackville, and Towner. To find out more about Irie Insurance, go to IrieInsurance.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
As we're back here, the West Fargo Packers strike first here late in the first quarter on their third possession of the game, as they only went 33 yards after a great punt return from Hagerly, but it results in a touchdown here for West Fargo as Jancy hits Zepeda for 31 yards, and the Packers put this one on the tee. This will be Carson Hagerly. As Fargo South will be ready to receive Hagerly, the right-footed end-over-end kick that goes to the 17-yard line. Wrapped up there by Spy, and Spy gets met at about the 30-yard line. They'll mark it down at close to the 28. Fargo South, 3 plays and a punt on their opening possession. Then 3 plays and a turnover, on their opening possession. Then 3 plays and a punt on their second possession as they handle it first down and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Great starting field position, though, for Coach Kozel and the Bruins at their own 42, their own 40, and here at their own 27-yard line. As Fargo South will come out, they'll have one wide receiver split out either side. Under center is Nissen. Handoff, this one goes to Sandnes. Sandnes stretches past the 30, gets close to about the 31-yard line, and 3.5 yards on the rush. Sandnes' first carry of tonight, and talking to Coach Kozel, explosive might be the word for him as a sophomore, as he's filling in for the senior in Kobe Jones. Kobe Jones, a scat back of 5'10", 175 senior. Did not play last week or this week. They expect him back, though, next week here for the Bruins. Sandus goes right up the middle again, able to get a couple of yards before Ballstead's in on the tackle. This goes to the 33-yard line. So you're going to have a 3rd down and 4 upcoming here for the Fargo South Bruins. And you look at Fargo South at Wahpeton. That's an East Region 11A game next. Then they're at Fargo Davies in a non-conference game on the 8th of October. Home to Devils Lake. We'll have that game for you here on your live event on October the 15th and at Grand Forks Central on October the 21st to close out the regular season. Pitch play. Sandus almost fumbled it, and then he gets met up in the backfield. Coming in on the tackle, going to be Carter Hansen for about a yard loss. It was just a pitch play to the near side, and Sandus, first and foremost, before he had to worry about a cut, had to make sure that he was able to get the football in the cookie jar and just make sure he held on to that one. So Fargo South will have another 3 and out here to start this first quarter of play, and the West Fargo Packers, with Dawkin coming on to punt, we'll see if he punts one to Hagerly or tries to punt one away or try to corner kick one here. This one almost gets blocked. A nice pump by Dawkin at the near side. Takes a good Bruin bounce as well. Bounces at the 37, and it's going to go all the way back to the mark at 30-yard line. So a good punt there by Dawkin to flip the field of 38 yards. But West Fargo, a chance now to try to take a 2-possession lead here in the first half. 25 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Ball be at the 30-yard line for West Fargo. They've had it at their own 20, their own 49, the Bruin 33, and now they'll have it at their own 30-yard line here as we wind down the waning seconds of quarter number 1. It's West Fargo and Fargo South, and a little 11A versus 11 AA action. The team in a AA right now leads it by 7 here in West Fargo. 2 wide receivers split out to the far side. That's Carson Hagerly and Zepeda. Fargo South, they have 5 men at the line. They're going to rush 6. Nelson, stretch play, gets the numbers. And Thomason comes in on the tackle, but not before Parker Nelson is able to get to the 35-yard line for a 5-yard rush. Kind of sounds like a broken record here. 9 carries for 53 yards. Nelson just able to do the things up front after his linemen give him the nice little lane to run through. We've seen a little power up the middle, seen a number of plays on a stretch. And now we'll see what Fargo South draws up here on the defensive side of the ball. As you have twins to the near sideline here, Ballstead to the right of Jancy in the pistol. Handoff, this one goes to Nelson. Nelson has the first down and some as he gets met at the 45 and tripped up to the 47-yard line in the tackle, Jack Horrible. But it's going to be a 12-yard rush for Nelson. 10 carries for 65 yards for the senior running back. And that'll potentially do it for this first quarter of play as Jancy's going to get to about the huddle, and that'll do it here for quarter number 1. After 1 quarter of play from Fargo South High School on homecoming night for the Bruins, it's the West Fargo Packers 7, Fargo South scoreless. We're back with the second quarter after this here on your live event.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical North Dakota high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Going to NESCS, I found out way more than just like sports. I met a lot of people just on my floor, and then different activities you could go to that were on campus. For sure, I'll look back on all the memories and love it. My name is Grace, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to a meeting, like everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
As we're back here on your live event, it's the West Fargo Packers 7, the Fargo South Bruins scoreless here. Chase Miller, Chris Crick with you. Handoff. This one goes to Nelson. Nelson bounces to left-hand side, going behind Sather and Broad. And they're going to be into Bruin territory after a couple of yards on the rush. They'll give them 3. And this is just going to be one of those games where Jay Gibson's just going to say, you know what, got to find a way to stop Nelson. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night if you're a Fargo South Bruin fan. Update for you, the Lisbon Broncos and Central Cass Squirrels. The Squirrels lead 14-0 over the Broncos in Castleton. I'll continue to give you some updates as they come in throughout the night. Pistol formation, Fargo South with 4 down linemen again. A little bit of a high snap. Nelson makes a cut right at the line, but he's going nowhere. Fargo South does a great job that time up front. Yeah, Tyler Christensen was one of those guys, and also Zach Tomlinson. So there'll be 3rd down and about 1 on the rush, but you have a 3rd down and maybe about 7 upcoming here for West Fargo. Packers after tonight, 3 straight non-conference games, including tonight. They'll play home to Legacy on the 1st at Red River 2 weeks from tonight, then host Mandan before closing out the regular season at Fargo Shanley. 3rd down upcoming. Jancy gives it to Nelson. Nelson has to cut back in, gets a block, breaks a tackle, spins, but then a number of Bruins come in as Nelson gets a hard-earned 2.5 yards, and we'll actually give him that as it's going to be 4th down and a long 4 upcoming here for the Packers. Good swarming tackles there by Fargo South. And you have to give a lot of credit to Kegba, who was the defensive end to make Nelson come back in, and then you had Nissen, Sandis, and a couple of the secondary players here for Fargo South able to come in and finish Parker Nelson off. Hagerly. Here comes Jancy. Jancy at the 45, a end over end punt. That's going to bounce at the 13, roll all the way then down to the 1-yard line, and an absolute beauty of a punt. You couldn't ask for anything better. That goes 45 yards and puts Fargo South in the shadow of their own end zone here. West Fargo, that is going to be their 3rd punt of the contest. Their 2nd one, excuse me. They had a turnover on downs and a touchdown for the Fargo South Bruins. They've had 2 punts here so far tonight, as they'll handle it with 9:51 left to play in the first half. Ball will be at their own 1-yard line. An interception, a punt, and a punt, the first 3 possessions here for the Bruins, and now they're going from the south to the north end zone. See if they can muster something up here on homecoming night against this really good up front unit right now for the West Fargo Packers playing up front. West Fargo 4 down lineman, shotgun formation. Nissen, little bubble screen that goes out, and a good healthy gain to about the 6-yard line. Jack Corbel in on the reception. 5 yards on the pitch and catch, as Corbel's going to get his first reception of the night. Sandness has 1 of 4, and that's going to make it 2nd down and 5 at West Fargo 6. What we've seen here from Fargo South a couple times tonight is a screen play, whether it's that bubble screen from a receiver or let the front 4 of West Fargo get past the offensive line and try to give it to Sandness then on the screenplay to the running back. Sandness to the right of Nissen in the gun. 2nd and 5 for Fargo South on the far hash. West Fargo, their rush 4. Pocket collapses. Nissen then is going to get met, and he's going to get hogtied down to about the 9. A 3-yard rush, and actually on the tackle gave him an extra yard, if not 2, by Carter Hansen. As Nissen is able to get a couple of yards, make it 3rd down and short. 4 carries for now 6 yards on the night for Nissen. Sandness has 3 for 5 to give you Fargo South's 11 rushing yards. 3rd down and 2 as the Bruins are looking for their first down of this first half of play. West Fargo 7, Fargo South scoreless. Twins still make that trip to left, one in the near sideline. West Fargo, they'll bring 4. Delayed handoff goes to Sandness. Sandness to the 10, makes one-man miss, spins his way to the 15. Got by 9, but couldn't get by the next defender of Lucas Allen. But still a first down here regardless for Sandness. 1st and 10 for Fargo South, and move the chains of the Bruins. Good job there on the delayed handoff. If he gets by the 2nd tackle, Sandness could have been running for a while, but make it 5 yards on the rush. And here comes Fargo South, and the big thing there is if this drive they have to punt, at least they're able to get a little bit farther away from their end zone. Reminder, Fargo South won the opening toss, elected to defer, so the Bruins will start with the second half with the football. Nissen, little read option, and West Fargo is ready for that one. The Packers coming on the opposite side and blowing that one up immediately was Josh Bolstead. Also helping him out a little bit was Jacob Bild, and Nissen actually loses a yard on that particular carry. Look at Fargo South last year. They finished 3-4 and missed the postseason for the first time since 1984 for Fargo South last year. Lost to Century 2 years ago in the quarterfinals. Century in 2018 in the quarters. Lost to Bismarck in the quarters in 2017. Century's beat a lot of teams, though, in the last 5 to 6 years. Second down and 10 here for Fargo South, and the gun is Nissen. Nissen steps up, throws incomplete. The intended receiver on the play was Hansgaard, makes it 3rd down and long. Nissen right now through the air is 2 of 5 with an interception and 9 yards. The leading receiver is Corbel. Jack Corbel, 1 reception for 5. Then Sandus, 1 of 4. Been a clean game in terms of that yellow hanky, and don't want to have the announcers jinx, but so far 0 penalties in the game, just 1 turnover. That was the interception by Nissen on the Bruins' first drive. Clock stops at 7:02 left to play here in the second quarter. Single back formation. Sandus in the backfield. West Fargo, they'll bring 4. Nissen has some time, gets it down the field to Kessel, and oh, what a dime to Kessel, but coming in with the hit, incomplete for the West Fargo Packers. That was a perfectly thrown ball with some touch by Nissen on the deep post, looking for the tight end, but West Fargo comes in and pops it away from the 6'3 sophomore. 4th down. Now for Fargo South. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining in a game that kicked off at 7:08. Not even a half hour in. Dockin stands back at his own 2. Clean snap. Dockin, a spiraling end-over-end kick that goes away from Hagerly. Takes a Bruin bounce at the 37, rolls past the 40, and West Fargo will have it there at about the 40-yard line. That'll be a 25-yard punt for Fargo South. They've had 4 possessions, 3 punts, and a pick. This will be the second possession of the second quarter here for West Fargo with 6:48 left to play here in the first half. And Fargo South will see the Packers have their second possession to start in Bruin territory. But Carson Hagerly, you mentioned about what you're seeing in a guy that you might punt to him once, but after that you're probably not going to punt to him ever again. And we've seen 2 try to pin kicks. The problem is the first one actually took a pretty good bounce of 38 yards. That one only went 25 as it's a shotgun formation now here for West Fargo. Jancy rolls. Jancy steps up, looks for the aforementioned Hagerly, incomplete on a cross. You have Seth Koskela in on the coverage. Jancy now 1 of 4 through the air for 31 yards and a touchdown. That one touchdown went to Zapata, Caden Zapata, the senior. Talk about a guy who probably, if you talk to the coaching staff of West Fargo, does a lot of dirty work. If this was basketball, you'd say he does the shows on the screens, helps out, gets the running, does the rebounding, does the little things, and Zapata does the same thing here in terms of blocks and the extra plays that you might not see, as Nelson's going to have a false start, and there's the announcer's jinx. We said we haven't seen the yellow hanky too much here tonight, and we see it there. First penalty of the night for either club comes midway through the second quarter, and Nelson knew it as he put his hands on his helmet right away and said, went 1 second too quickly, as second down and 15 up comes here for the West Fargo Packers. Something that we've seen, though, from the center of Carson Ford to Jansen. We have seen some high snaps tonight that has came back and haunted a little bit here of the West Fargo Packers. West Fargo will come out in that shotgun formation. Jancy has some time to throw, flips it to Nelson. Nelson gets past the 40. Nelson at the numbers 35-30. Nelson cuts in and gets the first down. We'll see where they spot it. They give him the 15 and some, 17 yards on the pitch and catch, and first down for the West Fargo Packers. Now it's 48 yards passing for Jancy. Parker Nelson, 6 receptions on the season for 51 yards and a touchdown. And again, both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. West Fargo trying to stick this one in the end zone before Fargo South gets the ball back to start this second half of play. Still a lot of time, though, as we're at the midway point of quarter number 2. Pistol formation again outcoming for Jancy. Handoff Nelson. Nelson gets a big hole and some to about the 19, 9 yards on the rush. Tomlinson in on the tackle with Costello for Fargo South. And Nelson 14 carries for 80 yards now for the Packers to lead the way on the ground. Tarley has 2 for 19, and then Jancy has 3 for minus 34, but 2 of those are because of high snaps, and then 1 was just a perfectly executed blitz package by Fargo South to get Jancy in the backfield for a loss. 2nd down and 1 between the hashes at the 19 here for the team clad in white with the green helmet in West Fargo. Handoff Nelson. Nelson bouncing to the right-hand side, and then coming in is Kagba. Kagba grabs the back of the jersey and takes him down for a 5-yard loss. Nelson would have been awfully close to the first, but he saw some daylight, bounce it out to the right-hand side. And the sophomore, Cole Kagba at 6'1", 175, chased Nelson down, kind of like the penguin suit, grabbed the back of his jersey and brought him down for a 4-yard loss. Nice play by Cole Kagba, the sophomore. We saw him play some reps against Red River. And this is the thing, again, when we talked to Coach Tyler Colzo, you see that there's talent on this roster. It's just a lot of the talent is the sophomore variety. And this one's on the carpet. Nelson, can he get back on it? Fargo South had a Bruin back at the 29 to almost get there. It looks like Nelson able to get that one. It is a 5-yard loss, however. Ever so close as Fargo South from the bend but don't break. So Nelson back-to-back negative yardage plays makes it 4th down and 11. You're not going to kick a 45, 46-yard field goal here for West Fargo. In no man's land, and they'll go for it on this 4th down. 4:23 left to play here in the first half. Play clock sits at 10 seconds right now as Jancy is going to break the huddle. Jancy gets the guys to the line with 4, with 3, with 2. Jancy kicks it off with a 2nd left. Fargo South brings the blitz. Jancy throws right-hand side, incomplete. They're looking on the far side for Zepeda, incomplete. Spy in on the coverage. And that'll make it a turnover on downs. And excuse me, you had Will Locker. Locker in on the coverage here for Fargo South. And the Bruins defense, we haven't said much on the offensive side, but the defense comes up with their 2nd turnover on downs of the game. And for Fargo South with 4:04 left to play here in the first half, we'll see what they can do with it. Ball at their own 29-yard line. Jones in the shotgun formation. Trips to the near side. West Fargo with 4 down linemen. Packers rush for Jones. Rolls right-hand side. Steps up, fires. Incomplete, looking for the tight end there in Kessel. Little high for Kessel, went through his hands, but he had to kind of climb the ladder up a little bit there as Nissen and Kessel give each other a high five going back to the huddle. And just an unfortunate play there for Fargo South because you ran a Nissen out of the gun, gave him some more time as he moved the pocket. Kessler was open. That would have been a first down of 13 yards instead, and brings up an incompletion in 2nd and 10. Another pass play here for Nissen. Nissen goes to the outside, incomplete on the outstretched arms there for the Bruins. As this one goes to the outside, and Neomucha Manza was the intended wide receiver for Fargo South. So that makes it 2nd down and 8 with the interception. Make that 2 of 8 with the interception, 9 yards here for the Fargo South Bruins. For Nissen at quarterback, and again, a well-drawn-up play. It was there for 5-6 yards. Nissen just led his man a little bit too far on the route. Now 3rd and 10, and not too much time has come off the clock, but we will get an encroachment here. This will be on the Packers right up the middle. So free 5 yards. 2nd penalty of the game for West Fargo, both via the 5-yard variety. And now it's 3rd down and 5. One of the things there when team is not playing well on the offensive side or not clicking, you don't want to give them a free 5 yards because 3rd and 5 now Kind of can drop something a little different than 3rd and 10. Probably will see something quick here from Nissen. 3-step drop, looks, fires, incomplete for Kessel. Yeah, 2 men on the coverage. Aaron Mang now alongside with Austin Beaver in on the coverage here for West Fargo. So this 3 downs and out again for Fargo South. They'll have their 4th consecutive punt of the night. And West Fargo upcoming will have their 6th possession on offense. And now you start looking at the clock. You look at the timeout situations. West Fargo with 3, Fargo South with 3, and Hagerly back at the 35. We'll see if Dockin punts to Hagerly or if he tries to pin this one or coffin corner it. This one goes to numbers. Hagerly at the 37 to the 40, and Hagerly makes a man miss and gets to about the 44-yard line. But, again, you want to give Hagerly only part of the field to work with, not all of the field to work with. But West Fargo with, again, great starting field position near midfield here for the Packers. Their 3rd possession of the 2nd quarter comes at the 3:40 mark, at the 46-yard line. And here's the old adage of what we said tonight. Can the Bruin defense come up with another stop? Can they try to force an interception or a fumble? Because what we've seen is West Fargo's defense has the number on Fargo South's offense so far, but can it be the defense or the special teams from the Bruins to try to make the big-time play? Jancy, shotgun. This one gets batted up in the air, and the aforementioned Kegma from the last possession batted that one up. And a chance there for Kegba or Christensen to come down with it. Jancy threw an absolute line drive bullet, and Kegba smartly just said, I'm not going to get there, put my right mid on it, and almost came up with the interception. And the one biggest play that led to the 31-yard touchdown score from Jancy to Cepeda was the Hagerly punt return, which put him in great starting field position at the Bruin 33, and a couple plays later, boom, you go 31 yards. But outside of those 2 big plays, haven't seen anything of the 20, 30-plus yard variety. 2nd and 10, they flip it out to Nelson in the flat. Nelson has it to the 50, and Nelson gets pushed out of bounds by Thomason. Awfully close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it. They'll give him 10 yards and enough for the first. 58 yards passing now for Jancy. And then Nelson, his 2nd reception of the night for 27 yards. Nate Seal is our referee. Jennifer is our umpire. Head linesman is Connor Dunn. Doug Duran is the line judge and the back judge of Jonathan Backer here. Tonight is our 5-man officiating crew. 3:28 left to play in the first half. Packers will come out, 2 wide receivers split on either side. Jancy, little read option, gives it to Nelson. Nelson gets past the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Tyler Christensen, the 5'11 junior defensive end, in on the tackle. I'll give him the 7 yards for Parker Nelson. 17 carries for 78 yards at this pace. We're going to have to make another column just for Nelson on the stat sheet. 2nd and 3 upcoming here for the Packers. Again, both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining. So West Fargo doesn't have to be too much in a rush. The run game is still there. We'll see if they go play action on 2nd and 3. Jancy, little read option. This one goes right up the middle. Fargo South able to bring Nelson down, but Nelson stretches for the first, and they'll give him the 3 yards. Hard-earned 3 yards there for the senior in Nelson. Fargo South up front has done a pretty nice job so far here tonight for the most part, as Skipple will check out as Mateo Graywin, the 6-foot sophomore, will check into the contest here for the Bruins. But 2 iconic helmets here in Eastern North Dakota, the Packer logo on either side with the numbers on the back. Fargo South, that big Bruin paw on either side of the helmet. First down and 10, play action, Jancy. Here's the shot down the field, wide open. Greffs through the tight end, incomplete at the 5. Oh, Gressrud on broken coverage had the step. That would have been 6. Instead, it's incomplete, and Fargo South catches a break. You know play action's going to come at some point when Parker Nelson has had the ball 18 times on the ground here tonight for West Fargo. And West Fargo timed it perfectly, just unable to connect there with Jancy to the other senior there in Grefsrud. As they just kind of ran right up the seam, and then Grefsrud bolted out. Makes it 2nd and 10 upcoming here for the Packers. As West Fargo will have Harley in the backfield. Handoff goes to him. Goes to about the 30, and at the 26-yard line. That'll be 8 yards on the rush. Dorian Torley with his third carry of the night for 27 yards. And West Fargo now between those two, they have combined for, let's see, 108 yards on the ground. But Jancy again with the minus 34 kind of puts a hamper into your average. But for the most part, West Fargo with the guys up front doing some damage. Clock is starting to wind pretty quickly here for West Fargo as it's third down. Harley up the middle to the 25, hops a Bruin to the 20. Tomlinson gives him a tackle then at the 18-yard line. 8 yards on the rush. Charlie, I tell you what, this is a guy that he just knows how to stick the foot in the ground and go north to south. And once he finds that lane, he can get to that second and third level awfully quickly. 100 seconds left to play in the first half. West Fargo, we'll see what they line up here with Hagerly to the right, Zepeda to the near side. Fargo South trying to double cover or at least bracket Hagerly. Handoff, Tarley goes right up the middle again. Tarley gets past the 15 and he slithers his way to the 13-yard line for 5 yards on the rush. 5 carries for 40 yards, but that's the thing when you play West Fargo is pick your poison. Do you want to stop the rush game of Nelson, Tarley, and Jancy when he runs, or do you say, hey, we're going to take the NDSU football commit away in Carson Hagerly, put at least 2 guys on him. If that's the case, you're going to have an opportunity to try to run the football, and that's what West Fargo's doing here tonight. 2nd down and 5, handoff Tarley. Tarley bounces behind his right guard to about the 9-yard line, 4 yards, and we have a timeout here on the field. This will be the first from the West Fargo Packers. 3rd down and 1 upcoming with 46 seconds left when we come back here on your live event.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
After the timeout, the West Fargo Packers knocking on the door. 3rd down and 1 upcoming at the Fargo South 9-yard line. West Fargo with 2 timeouts remaining. Fargo South with 3. The kicker is Hagerly here for West Fargo as well on the season. Carson Hagerly is 1 of 1 on the field goal variety. That one within 29 yards, but the Packers are thinking 6 here after the timeout from head coach Jay Gibson. The entire playbook again at their disposal with 2 timeouts and 46 seconds left in the first. Clean snap. Parker Nelson has the first to the 5. Nelson in the end zone. Touchdown, West Fargo. Parker Nelson goes 9 yards, and the Packers now lead it by a new score, 13-0 with 41 seconds left to play in the first half. 19 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown for the senior Parker Nelson. As coming on to put the exclamation point on that drive is Hagerly for the PAT. Zepeda again is the holder. Clean snap, clean hold, the right-footed end-over-end kick by Hagerly is good. And with 41 seconds left to play in the first half, it's West Fargo 14, Fargo South scoreless. Kickoff next on your live event.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With yourliveevent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with your live event.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
Well, for the West Fargo Packers, that drive goes 54 yards in 2 minutes and 59 seconds goes off the clock. Parker Nelson with a 9-yard rushing touchdown. Hagerly with the PAT, and Hagerly kicks this one off back to the 9-yard line here for Fargo South, and the Bruins. That one gets to about the 20-yard line and then close to about the 24. Looks like Spy was in on the return. He is for 14 yards. And for Fargo South, you start with the football in the second half, and we'll see how aggressive they want to be with 33 seconds left to play here in the third quarter, down by 2 scores, and they'll handle it at their own 24-yard line. Might try to maybe do a quick option, read option, or maybe a quick screen, see if he can get some yards. Let me just toss it to Sandus and hope that he can get 5-6 yards, and you kind of get in that hurry up. Or you go fullback dive to Tomlinson for the first time tonight. That goes past the 25 to the 28-yard line. 4 yards on the rush for the fullback. Hammond said Tomlinson's name too much. We've seen either the I formation for Fargo South or that 2 to anywhere from 4 wide receiver set, as Fargo South's going to look at the clock, and this one is going to be the end of half number 1. Kickoff at 7:08. First half, 52 minutes long, and we'll take a quick break. When we come back after this, take a look at the numbers, the stats, your out-of-town scoreboard. That's all still to come. It's West Fargo 14, Fargo South scoreless as we go to half here on your live event.
We built Irie Insurance with one philosophy: hire great people and provide great service and options. We want to help protect your home, farm, crops, personal, and your businesses. Hello, this is Shane with Irie Insurance, and since day one, we have followed this golden rule to help protect you. That's why we have so many locations like West Fargo, Devils Lake, Hope, Hillsboro, Mackville, and Towner. To find out more about Irie Insurance, go to IrieInsurance.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical North Dakota high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Going to EDC, I found out way more than just like sports. I met a lot of people just on my floor, and then different activities you could go to that were on campus. For sure, I'll look back on all the memories and love it. My name is Grace, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to a meeting, like everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
If you're in need of Minnesota and or North Dakota high school athletics coverage, head to yourliveevent.com so you don't miss out on moments like these.
Straight up the middle, bounces, he's open, he's down the field, touchdown, Nuggets!
Go to our YouTube page at Your Live Event, powered by Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated.
Intercepted!
Follow us on Twitter at Your Live Event 1 and on Facebook at Your Live Event.
As we're back here at the half, the West Fargo Packers lead at 14-0 over the Fargo South Bruins. Let's recap what happened in the first 24 minutes. West Fargo got on the board late in the first quarter after a great Carson Hagerly return of 47 yards. Then you had Jancy finding Zepeda for 31 yards and a third down for the touchdown. Zepeda had the first, broke a couple tackles as he went into the end zone. Hagerly with the point after attempt made it 7-0 West Fargo with a 2:18 mark in the first quarter. Then the Packers put one on the board late in the first half with 41 seconds left to play. Parker Nelson with the 90-yard rushing touchdown. Hagerly with the point after attempt. 14-0 West Fargo here at the half. The Packers so far with 6 possessions, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnover on downs, and 2 punts. The Fargo South Bruins with 6 possessions, an interception on their first, 4 consecutive punts, and then they had the half here for Fargo South. Take a look at your first half numbers on the team side. The West Fargo Packers with 104 yards rushing on 29 attempts, 58 yards passing through the air for 162 yards total. West Fargo 2 penalties for 10 yards and 0 turnovers. For the Fargo South Bruins, 19 yards of total offense in the opening 24 minutes. 8 carries for 10 yards, and through the air, Nissen is 2 of 9 for 9 yards and an interception here for Fargo South. 0 penalties, but 1 turnover for the Bruins. Individual numbers, Parker Nelson, 19 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown. You have Tarley, 6 for 41, and then West Fargo, they do have a 4-yard carry as well, as this one came with the Packers for 4 yards, and then Jancy 3 for -34. Jancy through the air is 3 of 9 for 58 yards passing and a touchdown. You have Nelson with 2 receptions for 27 yards, and Zapata is 1 for 31. Hagerly has 0 receptions in the game, but West Fargo again leads it by 14. Parker Nelson, the workmanlike game, 19 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown. For the Fargo South Bruins, Nissen is 2 of 9 through the air for 9 yards and an interception. Leading the ground game is Sandus, 4 carries for 10 yards. Nissen 5 of 5 here for Fargo South. Corbel, 1 reception for 5 yards through the air, and Sandus 1 reception for 4 yards. We'll take a quick timeout. We come back. We'll take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard. That's still to come on our halftime show on homecoming night from Fargo South. It's West Fargo 14, Fargo South scoreless. Fargo South gets the football to start the second half here on your live event.
If you want help from a firm who has integrity, respect, strives for excellence, and is interested in the benefit of the community, then look no further than Onstead Twitchell Attorneys. Our team of attorneys are dedicated and talented professionals who are committed to improving the lives of their clients and providing custom legal solutions with integrity and excellence. We have offices in West Fargo, Hillsborough, and Castleton, or visit our website at www.onsteadlaw.com.
Since 1981, Park Christian School has been educating the next generation of leaders in the Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo area. Park Christian's thoroughly Christian education and commitment to academic excellence has resulted in a confident tradition of student success. Students graduate from Park Christian School strong in their faith and well prepared for the rigors of college, career, and relationships. Call 218-236-0500 to schedule your visit or go online to parkchristianschool.org.
Degelman does put the effort and time into their employees by training them.
It's something that you think you couldn't do, but you can actually do it because you were trained to do it.
Once I got my confidence up, now I just feel pride.
I'm very proud to be leading the team that builds the toughest product in the manufacturing and agricultural industry.
Let's get real. You're ready for a place that's big enough to grow and small enough to care. So get ready for the University of Minnesota Crookston. With more than 30 majors, minors, and certificates, you'll earn a University of Minnesota degree in a close-knit community where faculty become friends and friends feel like family. And to get a degree that can make a difference, you don't need a big city, just big dreams. The University of Minnesota Crookston. Real, hands-on, ready.
As we continue here on our halftime show, let's take a look at your out-of-town scoreboard here tonight. Fargo Shanley leads Jamestown on homecoming night, 26-13 after 3 quarters of play. Central Cass squirrels over Lisbon at the half, a game you can watch right here on your live event as well. Joe Morgan on the call. Central Cass 28, Lisbon 8. At the half in that contest. Some other scores. Kindred 27-0 over Fargo Oak Grove. Max McQuillan for the Vikings, 4 of 6 through the air for 129 yards and a touchdown. Also has a 35-yard rushing score for Kindred. And then one other score coming in. Hillsborough Central Valley over Carrington, 28-0 at the half. Burroughs over the Cardinals. All those games, again, you can watch across your live event platform. West Fargo Cheyenne dominating Bismarck Legacy after 3 quarters of play. 30-7 Mustangs over the Sabres in that particular contest. As we continue to look, Bismarck St. Mary's over Wahpeton at the half, 24-14. That one a very interesting game in 11A between Bismarck St. Mary's and alongside with Wahpeton. Fargo North with a very impressive performance in a win, 42-8. Fargo North wins their homecoming night over Grand Forks Red River, 42-8. That is a final. So as we take a look at some of the updated standings, North will improve to 4-1 on the season and 4-1. 4-0 in conference play. Red River drops to 2-3 in the East so far, and for Fargo North, they earned the win, 42-8. A very again impressive win. That one kicked off at 6 o'clock earlier tonight. So that's a look at some of your out-of-town scores. Again, when we continue to get some of these in, we will pass those along as the third quarter gets underway here in a moment. But at the half, it's the Fargo South Bruins 14, the West Fargo Packers 14, the Fargo South Bruins scoreless on homecoming night for Fargo South. Take a quick time out. We come back after this. We'll get you ready for second half action as Fargo South will receive, and we'll see if they can get something going offensively here in the second half. West Fargo 14, Bruins nothing. Back with the second half after this.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With yourliveevent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with Your Live Event.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
As we come back here, just a couple minutes away from the second half between West Fargo and the Fargo South Bruins, let's take a look ahead for both teams. For the West Fargo Packers, this is one of 4 straight non-conference games before they close out the year at Fargo Shanley on October the 21st. Their next contest will be at home against Bismarck Legacy on October the 1st. Then they travel to Grand Forks for a date with the Rough Riders at Cushman Field on the 8th. Host the Mandan Braves on the 15th, and at Fargo Shanley on the 21st. Playoffs in 11 AA coming up 10-29, October the 29th. The semifinals on November the 5th with the Dakota Bowl on November the 12th. For the Fargo South Bruins, still to come on their schedule, a lot of conference games. A East Region 11A game at Wahpeton a week from tonight. Then they play a non-conference game at Fargo Davies, a little bit farther south on 25th Street on October the 8th. They host the Devils Lake Firebirds, a game you can watch right here on your live event on October 15th. And they're at Grand Forks Central on the 21st to wrap up the regular season for Coach Kozel. Fargo South 1-2 in the East, but they still have everything to play in front of them, especially with that loss to Grand Forks Red River. Now the Rough Riders do have the head-to-head against Fargo South, but they still have Devils Lake on their schedule, who's ahead of them, Wahpeton on their schedule, who's ahead of them, and Grand Forks Central on their schedule, who's ahead of them. So you can look at the opportunity that's still to come here for the Fargo South Bruins. Also, fans, the Bruin Booster Club supports the students' ability to participate in South High activities while promoting school spirit and encouraging parent and community support for Fargo South athletics. To become part of the Bruin Booster Club, go to the activities section of the Fargo South website and click on the Booster Club for more information and find out how you can be part of the Bruin Booster Club here in 2021 and the 2022 school year. Reminder, yourliveevent.com, place to go to find out the next soccer match, next volleyball match, or next football game that we have you covered for. Get ready for postseason play. Crazy to think, state soccer, a couple weeks in Jamestown. Golf is starting to wrap up, and then you kind of get into playoffs for football in a couple weeks, particularly 9B and 11B, and then state volleyball and regional volleyball in the month of November. So you flip to the October, and it really starts getting even ramped up a little bit more and a little busier in high school athletics. For the Class 9B polls coming into tonight, Lemoore Litcham Marion was 5-0. Here's just a stat that sometimes when you look at teams and you say, how dominant are you, or is it more the schedule you're playing? Well, either way, the Lobos are very good in 9B football. They've outscored their opposition in 5 games this year, 337-0. The Lobos have outscored their competition this year in 9B football, 337-0. They play at Wymer Lidgewood. That should be their toughest test of the regular season. Warbirds only lost to third-rated Cavalier by 8 earlier in the season. 11AA polls, Bismarck Century 1, West Fargo Cheyenne 2, with Shanley and West Fargo tied for third. And 11A, Jamestown 1, with Bismarck St. Mary's 2, Fargo North at 3, with Devils Lake at number 4. As we get ready, Carson Hagerly puts this one on the tee, kicking from the south to the north end zone. This one goes end over end to the 10-yard line here for Fargo South. And that's Spy, and Spy gets the 20-yard line before he's wrapped up by Aaron Magnow. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bruins. This will come at their own 19-yard line to start this third quarter of play. And this will be at the 11:55 mark. Important possession. You talk to coaches all the time. Kind of remember Craig Bowl kind of saying when he was the head coach at North Dakota State that the first possession of the second half could really determine what the football game looks like, whether you're up by 14 or down by 14. If Fargo South can put a drive together here and get up and get some points, they'd be right back into a one-possession game. Nissen in the shotgun, rolls right-hand side. Nissen fires, and that's almost intercepted on the far side by the West Fargo Packers. Scoville was out there, the 5'10 senior. That's going to be incomplete, though, for Nissen. Now 2 of 10 through the air here for Fargo South. Guys up front, Skipple, the left tackle. Graywind at left guard with Nielsen under center. Right guard of Tyler Christensen and Andrew Weber is a right tackle sophomore. 2 sophomores, 2 seniors, and a junior up front here for the Fargo South Bruins. Nissen's a sophomore, Sadness a sophomore in the backfield at quarterback and tailback. When you see the fullback out there, Thomason, he is a junior. Shotgun formation, Nissen looks, finds a man. That's going to be complete, but West Fargo comes up and makes the lick for about a couple yards. That goes out to the near sideline, and Hansgaard in on the reception. That'll be for 3 yards as Hansgaard able to get his first reception of the night. Nissen now with 12 yards through the air, but what that does at least gets to about a 3rd down and 7 here for the Fargo South Bruins. West Fargo, though, tell you what, one thing we've seen tonight, and always when it's a Jay Gibson-led team, a squad that can tackle, and they just get better every week, no matter what their record is. Nissen, shotgun, rolls, has some time, goes down the middle, finds his big tight end. This time Kessel past the 35 for a Bruin first down to the 38-yard line. 16 yards and a first down for Fargo South. That was a nice reception there for the Bruins, as Nissen now 2 for 2 on his last 2 passes, and they make it the 39. So get the first down for Fargo South. And now we'll see what they come out with here. A little bunch, tight formation, twins both left and right in the shotgun. Nissen, 3-step drop, has some time, fires. This is for Kessel, incomplete. That one just kind of floated out of his hands. Parker Nelson in on the coverage for the Packers. You're going to see Kessel again at tight end, also a sophomore at 6'3". Cascella is a wide receiver with Jack Corbel. Both are seniors. But just looking at the starting lineup here tonight for Fargo South, they have 5 sophomores on the offensive side to start. Get to the Packers here on the defensive side in a moment. 2nd down and 10. Shotgun formation, low snap. Nissen has some time. Are they going to say that he haul it in at the 44? They did, and have a little bit of extra curricular after the play, and we have a late flag. This is going to be a 4-yard completion to Cascella for 5 yards. It's a little jostling between both a Bruin and a Packer. We'll see who this is on after the play. Personal foul. This will be on Fargo South, and that one hurts because it'll be their first penalty of the game, but it's the 15-yard variety. You'll give the 5 yards on the completion, and then after the play, you'll make it 15 yards the other way. That's tough when you're able to finally get some traction offensively, and kind of like West Fargo, what they did a little bit in the first half, got Nelson going, but then they had a sack. Got Nelson going, then they had a couple high snaps over the quarterback's head, and now you have 3rd down and 20. They need to get to their own 49 for the first here for the Fargo South Bruins. Delayed handoff, Sandus runs it right up the middle. He's going to get taken down at about the 30-yard line. As coming in will be Josh Balstead. Tell you what, Balstead just been everywhere on the field at linebacker here for the Packers. 1 yard on the rush on the delayed handoff. Sandus now 5 carries for 11 yards. And a guy that reminds me a lot of what Jay Gibson likes in his linebackers, Jared Franick. You know, a wrestler, a guy that was always really good as a tackler. And that's what you just kind of see here as we get ready for the punt. Dokken, right-footed kick, end over end. This one will go out of bounds at about the 39-yard line, and Dokken brought out his pitching wedge and able to place it on the near side for 39. About 31 yards on the punt. You don't allow Hagerly to get the ball, but the West Fargo Packers will have, again, really good starting field position for their first possession of the second half. 9:49 left to play here in the third quarter. West Fargo will have it 1st and 10 at their own 39. Here's where they've started the game. Their worst starting field positions, their own 20. They started at the 49, at the South 33, at their own 30, at their own 40, and then at their own 46-yard line. So West Fargo has had, again, great real estate here to begin their drives. Nelson right up the middle, gets past the 45-50. Parker Nelson goes down the near sideline and pushed out of bounds by Spy at the 30-yard line. 31 yards by Parker Nelson. 20 carries on the night for Nelson for 121 and a touchdown. Parker Nelson, this is the type of game that Jay Gibson likes to see. Just kind of slowly wear down your front up line, control a little bit of the clock. And talking to Jay, kind of said, you know, the first 3 games weren't really able to get the rushing game going, particularly against Bismarck Century or Cheyenne, but Davies, it erupted, and it's carrying over here into game number 5. Nelson, a little cutback, and then he's going to get met up and tackled for a 2-yard loss. Bruins do a really good job, and I'll tell you what, I've been impressed by the sophomore defensive end, Cole Kagba. You know, Skipple able to come in on the tackle, but Kagba able to go up on the defensive edge, get the edge where Nelson did a cutback in, and then Skipple was right there. Minus 2-yard loss. 21 carries now for a $119, but Kagba, he is going to be a menace the next couple of years with how he's playing at the defensive end spot here for Fargo South. 2nd down and 12. Just under 9 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Packers trying to really put this one away here in the third with a potential touchdown. Play action. Jancy going for the home run strike. Does he? Going down, incomplete. Intended for Magnell on a deep post pattern as he had Locker in on the coverage. Makes it 3rd down and 12. For the West Fargo Packers, though, guys up front in Braun, the left tackle, Sather, the guard, 40 to center, Schuster at right guard, and Lamb at right tackle. All upperclassmen, 2 seniors, 3 juniors, opening up some holds, whether it's for Parker, Nelson, or Tarley so far here tonight. Wide receivers split out to the left-hand side. Fargo South with 4 down linemen, 3rd down and 12. Play action, Jancy all day to throw, going down the field, incomplete at the end zone. They were looking for Jaden Grefsrud, the tight end, and for the West Fargo Packers, kind of in no man's land here. But Jay Gibson's got to like what his defense has done, so they'll go for it. Just one of those where he took a crack down the field, trying to get all 30 yards, and now Fargo South, they will need the Bruin 20-yard line for the first. On the opposite side for Fargo South, their offense hasn't gotten clicking, but their defense in the first half at least able to get a lot of turnover on downs in these situations. 4th down and 12. Fargo South will just rush forward. Jancy fires, incomplete off the hands of Zepeda. Zepeda would have had it right at the line to gain. Instead, it's incomplete and a turnover on downs. For the 3rd time tonight, the West Fargo Packers have a turnover on downs, and for the Fargo South Bruins, again, you're 1 play away from really making this a football game again, being down by 2 scores, but all you need is one big offensive, special teams, or defensive play. You're back within a score, and then really it's anyone's game once you get to that point. 8:39 left to play in the third quarter. Second possession of the second half as Fargo South will start at it at their own 31-yard line. As they come out, shotgun formation, quick little screen here. This comes to the near side, and getting to about the 35-yard line is the Bruins and Jack Corbel. Corbel able to get 3 yards. Corbel, his second reception for 8 yards. Right now you have 36 yards through the air for Nissen. Nissen in the first half was just 2 of 9 for 9 yards. In the second half, he's already 4 of 6 for 25 yards. So you just might say getting a little bit more in rhythm, feeling a little bit more relaxed, and with this score holding, and if it continues to hold, we're probably going to see Nissen throw the ball a lot through the air here in the third and fourth quarter. Nissen rolls right-hand side, goes to the flat, incomplete! Coming out of nowhere for the West Fargo Packers on the far side of the play, and for West Fargo coming in is Jack Stewart, the defensive end. Just came in, and all of a sudden it looked like that was going to be an easy completion in the flat, and Stewart comes out and bats that ball away. Very similar to Kegba at the end of the second quarter for the Fargo South Bruins. And the Packer student section, something you'd hear in a basketball game, chanting, "You got swatted." It's the Bruin homecoming night. They're clad in their gold and brown. For the West Fargo student section, looks like the Oakland Raiders. All black. Here comes Nissen, incomplete, looking for the tight end of Kessel on a 10-yard out route, and it'll be 4th down upcoming here for the Fargo South Bruins. And for West Fargo, you'll force another punt here for Fargo South. If they punt this one away, it'll be their 6th punt of the contest. Dockin been very busy for the Bruins. You just wonder if your Coach Colesel, do you maybe go for a fake punt here, but again, it's in deep in your territory. High snap. Dockin gets this one off a boot. Hagerly at the 35. Hagerly 40. Now he looks for a block. Gets one. 45 to the 50, and that's one's coming back. We got a push in the back, and Hagerly has a great return to the 25, but the flag came out at the 50-yard line. So you know this one is definitely coming back. Now it's just a matter of where do you spot the flag and how far does it go back. Hagerly caught it at the 35-yard line, and that's where it might be coming back to here in a moment. We're going to get block in the back on the West Fargo Packers. This again will be from the spot of the foul, which was pretty much right on the Bruin paw. And then you'll move him back from there. So for the West Fargo Packers, that'll be their third penalty of the contest, their first of this second half, and they'll spot it right at the 40-yard line. West Fargo will have their third, make it their second possession here of this third quarter. This will be at their own 40-yard line with 7:30 left to play here in quarter number 3. If you're just joining us, Parker Nelson had a 9-yard rushing touchdown in the second quarter, and Jancy hit Zepeda for a 31-yard touchdown completion with 2:18 left to go in the first. That's where we have our 14-0 score right now. Handoff. This one going up the middle. Nelson breaks a tackle. Nelson gets the numbers. Nelson to the 50. Cuts back inside into Bruin territory at the 46-yard line. And Fargo South able to come in on the coverage and the tackle here for the Bruins. Neo Muchamanza in on the tackle, but not before Parker Nelson able to get 14 yards. 22 carries now on the night for 133 yards for Nelson and a rushing touchdown. By the way, Neo Muchamanza, that might be one of the best names ever. There was a cat for Fargo Davies a few years ago named Inosengiyumva. If we had our all-name conference, I think those two would probably hold a spot on the top 10. 1st and 10 here for the West Fargo Packers. Stretch handoff for Parker Nelson. Nelson turns his way to the 35, bouncing off for Bruin, and Thomason comes up and gives him a lick at the 33. 13 yards for Nelson, and you go back to what he was able to do last week against the Fargo Davies Eagles. Parker Nelson rushed for 161 yards on 27 attempts and 4 touchdowns, and right now he's going to probably surpass the 27 mark. I don't know if he'll pass the touchdown, but he's got 23 carries for a $146 and a score here in this one. Clock stops as Nelson goes out of bounds with 6:55 left to play in the third. Jancy, motion man is Hagerly going right to left across the formation. Parker Nelson to the 35-yard line. Nelson then hops over a Bruin and gets knocked out of bounds. Sadness is the one who pushed him out of bounds on the Packers sideline to the 29. And now Nelson goes into our next category for our counting numbers. 150 rushing yards here for Nelson. So you add what he had earlier. He's got 394 yards as we have a second down upcoming here for the Packers. Second down and 5. Hagerly left to right across the formation. This one goes to left-hand side, and Fargo South able to come in on that particular play. And we get a flag at the very end. Might be a hit out of bounds or possibly a late hit. Tarley in on the rush. And we'll see who this particular penalty is on. I think game getting a little chippy, just like you would any game as the game wears along. And this one is going to be a personal foul on Fargo South. So spotted again for this one as Fargo South will handle it. And see that this one will be a first down going the other way against the team clad in brown and white and gold in Fargo South. Tough one there for the Bruins. Their second penalty of this half for now 25 yards. And the Packers knocking on the door trying to put this one out of range. First down and 10, Packers. This one going right up the middle again and past the 15 to about the 11-yard line on the rush. Dorian Tarley. Tarley is able to get 6. 7 carries for 47 yards for Tarley, and then you add what Nelson's done. Now 200 yards of rush between those two before you have to worry about anything else. As this will come out second down and 5. One wide receiver, right-hand side, Zepeda. Hagerly to the left. Jancy, Tarley, left-hand side. breaks a tackle. Tarley spins and then gets popped at about the 3. 8 yards on the rush there for Tarley. 8 carries now for 55 yards. And Tarley, I tell you what, a 5'10 senior, continues to impress here, coming in and spelling Parker Nelson a little bit. This has been a particular player, as it's first and goal here for the West Fargo Packers. And this one has just been keep it on the ground, maybe run a little bit behind Bolstead at fullback, who also plays linebacker. Handoff, Tarley. Tarley is he in the end zone? Yes! Tarley gets a rushing touchdown from 2 yards on. The Packers now lead it 20-0. First points of the second half goes to the west side, and the Packers are back on the board thanks to a Tarley 2-yard rushing touchdown. And now for the West Fargo Packers, they'll come on for the point-after attempt with Hagerly. Zepeda the hold, Hagerly the right-footed kick, and it is good. New score, it's West Fargo 21, Fargo South scoreless with 5:25 left in the third here on your live event.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With yourliveevent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with Your Live Event.
For the West Fargo Packers, Hagerly, right-footed end over end kick. That's going to be short. It's going to bounce to the 24, and then picking that one up is going to be Spy, and that's where he'll be wrapped up for the Fargo South Bruins. That last drive goes 60 yards in 2 minutes and 5 seconds, and the third touchdown of the game here for West Fargo. The Packers have put 7 points up in the first, 7 points up in the second, and so far 7 points up here in this third quarter as Fargo South will handle it. First down and 10 here for the Bruins. That'll be at their own 24-yard line. 5:20 left to play here in the third quarter. Fargo South, I'll have to double check, but I don't think they've passed the 50-yard line here tonight for the Bruins. They've been close. They've been at the 40 to 45. Sadness with the football gets to 25, and Sadness close to the first 9 yards. One of the better plays on the ground for the Bruins here tonight. Sandus now 6 carries for 20 yards, 9 yards on the rush. Makes it second down upcoming here for Fargo South as the ball will be spotted on the far side at the 33-yard line. The Bruins came in just averaging 10.5 points per game defensively, giving up 21. We'll get to the defense here for West Fargo after this play. Nissen bounces right-hand side. Nissen gets met right at the line for no yards on the gain. Guys up front, good defensive ends of 10 or 9. We've seen Hansen and some other guys getting some reps here tonight. Lucas Allen, Bild, and Lamb up front. We've also seen Jack Stewart. Linebackers of Ballstead and Porter, and on the back end here for West Fargo a little bit, you have Austin Beerer, Caden Zepeda. We're going to see Hagerly, Nelson. We've seen Magnell playing in the secondary as well here for head coach Jay Gibson and the Packers. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Tyler Colesville might need a timeout, and there it is. 4:04 left to play in the third. We'll come out with a 3rd and a yard after the timeout by Fargo South when we return here on your live event.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call.
As we're back here on your live event, the first time out by the Fargo South Bruins will have a 3rd and 1 upcoming. And we'll see what Coach Kozel wants to draw up here on a 3rd down and short. Next week, one of our games on your live event, Fargo Shanley at Bismarck Century from the Bowl. A week from tonight in Bismarck. Shanley can hold on and beat Jamestown. They would improve to 3-2 on the season. Century coming into tonight, the lone unbeaten with West Fargo Cheyenne in 11 AA football as Nissen just continues to move the pile forward. He's not going down. A QB sneak that goes for 11 yards. That might be a record. Tell you what, he just kind of kept going between the center and the guards and just kept bouncing around like a pinball and able to get a hard 11 yards there by Nissen. 7 carries for 16 yards, and just tell you what, that's not something you see too many times. You probably would expect in that situation again, something with the fullback trap, a quarterback dive, but the fact that Nissen kept the wheels turning for 11 yards. Pitch play, this is Sandness. Sandness hops over a Packer, look out! Sandness at the numbers 40, cuts back in on Hagerly at the 30, and Sandness gets taken down to the 25. A 29-yard rush by Sandness, 7 carries for 49 yards, and the Bruins are knocking on the door. That's what Fargo South just needs, something on the positive side. You get 11 yards on a rush, now you get 29, and you're very much within Dawkins' range as a field goal kicker, but they want to get in the land of 6. They want pay dirt. 1st down and 5. Pitch play to Sandness. Sandness cuts back in, and then Sandness gets about maybe 1. Making him cut back in was the linebacker of Carter Hansen. 1 yard on the rush by Sandness. 8 carries for 50 yards. Scoreboard update for you. Final, Kindred and Fargo Oak Grove. The Vikings win at 41-rip. 41-0 on the shutout as Kindred earns the win. And the Vikings one step closer to trying to earn that number 1 seed in that particular Southeast region in 11B football. 2nd down and 9. 2:40 left to play here in the 3rd. Play action. Nissen rolls, has some pressure, and just got that one away as the Packers able to get again to Nissen here from the defensive front. We haven't seen West Fargo too many times here tonight have to rush more than 4 because, again, with the score, they don't really have to force too many blitzes. They don't have to put that extended pressure because when you can get home with 3 or get home with 4, you'll allow your secondary in the back half of your secondary to try to keep the play in front of them. And 3rd down upcoming here for Fargo South. Again, down by 3 scores right now with 2:34 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Packers 21-0, but the Bruins just outside the red zone, under center. Play action. Nissen has some time, fires one, incomplete. In on the coverage for West Fargo was Hansen. The intended receiver was Corbel, makes it 4th down and 9. And now the Bruins, they're going to bring the kicking team out, and Dawkins going to come on for the field goal here. His longest of the season is 40 yards. This one will be just outside of that. It'll be a 41-yard field goal for Dawkins, who's 5 of 6 on the year on the field goal. Just a junior. Fargo South Bruins looking to take the goose egg off that scoreboard. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Dawkins with the right-footed kick upcoming. This one, a line drive. That one splits the uprights, and Dawkins buries one from 41 yards. And in Dawkins gets Fargo South on the board. They're down now 21-3 late in the 3rd after an excellent kick by what might be a future college kicker here in 2 years, and Landon Dawkins.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
Tell you what, there was a cat named Emmett Kenny for Fargo Shanley who went to Stanford for kicking, but you just kind of look and you say Landon Dockin, I mean, a little crosswind, a little swirling wind here tonight at Fargo South High School, but that one had plenty of range from 45, and dare we even say 50 as a junior field goal kicker. He kicks one from 41 yards. Dockin now 2 of 2 from 40-plus on the season, and we'll just put it to you this way. If you haven't seen the man kick in person or seen it on your live event, we've done 2 of Fargo South games so far. He's made a 40 and he's made a 41-yarder on the 2 that we've been here for Fargo North, and this one tonight with the West Fargo Packers. And Dockin on this particular season as a specialist, a guy that does it all again for Coach Kozel, whether it be punting, kicking, for field goals or point-after attempts. And in high school football, doesn't matter what level or what state you're in. If you can have a field goal kicker, once you get past that opponent 30-yard line, you feel pretty comfortable that you can come away with 3 points. That can put the head coach and the offensive coordinator a little bit at ease. As we have a flag on the far side of the field. This one was at the 40-yard line. But going back to Dockin again, you just kind of wonder if you saw Emmett Kenny, a guy from North Dakota, as a special teams player, get a Power 5. Again, there's a lot of camps. There's a lot of places you got to go. The Coles kicking camps is one in particular when it comes to the specialists and where you try to get noticed. Penalty will be on Fargo South, the Bruins. Another third penalty of the game. This one will be for 30 yards. But that one, again, a 5-yard penalty. And the West Fargo Packers back to receive at their own 15 is Carson Hagerly and Parker Nelson. As Dockin gets this one and gets ready to kick. Dockin, this one will be a squibber that goes to Zepeda at the 40. Zepeda then gets met at the 44-yard line, and West Fargo again with great starting field position at their own 44-yard line. Third possession of the third quarter for West Fargo. This with 2:19 left to play in the third. And if you're West Fargo, just wonder here with where the game is at, 18 points, still up by 3 possessions. You like a little Nelson left, Nelson right, maybe a Tartley up the middle, kill some time and get this one into the fourth quarter and maybe still have the football or get a big score here and put this one away. For Fargo South, looking for a quick 3-and-out, looking for a potential turnover here. Handoff, Nelson. Nelson gets the 50-yard line. Nelson to the 45, makes a little jitterbug step at the 40, and Thomason comes in on the tackle. There is a flag at the 39. Right now it does stand as a 22-yard gain, but we'll see what the flag is on. Kind of think of maybe a face mask or an inadvertent block in the back. But again, it will be from the spot of the 39-yard line. Right now it's a 22-yard rush by Parker Nelson. And we'll see who the flag is on. This one looks like it'll be against the West Fargo Packers. And it will be. This will be a hold. Go from the spot, and then we'll redo first down. This will go back to the 49-yard line for West Fargo. Their fourth penalty of 30 yards. Parker Nelson able to get the gain, though, and then you kind of have that one taken away from you. So first down upcoming here. One wide receiver split on either side for the Packers. Nelson still in the backfield. Little stretch play. Bolstead, the leading blocker. Nelson hops over Bolstead, and he gets wrapped out of bounds for the first, close to the 40-yard line. They had it at the 49, and we'll see where they mark him out at They'll mark him at the 40, so 11 yards on the gain. 25 carries for 161. As West Fargo right now, with Parker Nelson, they have been very impressive, but I think you got to give just as much credit to the offensive line and what they've been able to do so far here tonight, as the officials blow the play, as we have an injured Bruin on the near sideline here for Fargo South, as they'll attend to him, unable to see who it is or the number, as it's just in front again of the Fargo South bench. For the West Fargo Packers after this, they will play home to Legacy and Akron Forks Red River. As Fargo South, Tyler Coastal, the head coach, is out there, the head trainer as well. Parker Nelson again with that 11-yard rush, 25 carries on the night. And the Bruins right now continue to look at their man on the near sideline. We'll take a quick break as well here on your live event. Back with more of the third quarter action here between the Bruins and the Packers after this.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With YourLiveEvent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with Your Live Event.
For Fargo South, this will hurt literally and figuratively. Dorian Sandness, their running back and also linebacker, comes out of the game. You already have Kobe Jones, who is dressed, but they don't want to have to play him if they don't have to. Parker Nelson takes one up the middle, and then he gets met at about the 37-yard line. And on the tackle for Fargo South looks to be the lengths of a Josh Nilsson in on that tackle, but you're going to get 3 yards on the rush for Parker Nelson. Able to have now 164 yards on the day, but again, for Fargo South fans, you hope this one with a Sadness is maybe nothing more than just a leg cramp, and that's about it. And you just wonder, again, for the Bruins, where do you go next now on that depth chart in terms of the running back position with your number 1 already out, and again, dressed tonight. And then depending on what Sandus is able to do if he returns. Parker Nelson, though, has a lane and look out. Nelson to the 10, to the 5. No one's going to catch him for the score. Parker Nelson goes 37 yards, and for the second time, he hits pay dirt. It's West Fargo 27, Fargo South 3. What a play of 37 yards again. And just like that, it's going to be 201 yards rushing here for Nelson on 27 carries and 2 touchdowns. As the West Fargo Packers come on for the point after attempt, and that might have been the dagger here late in the third quarter. Hagerly comes on the right-footed kick, end over end, and Hagerly 4 for 4 on point after attempts. Packers lead it, new score, up by 25 here late in the third on your live event on Fargo South.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
We built Irie Insurance with one philosophy: hire great people and provide great service and options. We want to help protect your home, farm, crops, personal, and your businesses. Hello, this is Shane with Irie Insurance, and since day one, we have followed this golden rule to help protect you. That's why we have so many locations like West Fargo, Devils Lake, Hope, Hillsboro, Mackville, and Towner. To find out more about Irie Insurance, go to IrieInsurance.com. Irie Insurance is an equal opportunity employer and provider.
Back here at Fargo South High School, Nelson now again with 201 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns here for the Packers. On the ground for West Fargo for Jay Gibson, as the Packers now lead it 28-3 after that 37-yard rushing touchdown. End over end kick, fumbled there by the Bruins. They pick it back up, and there's a hard hit in West Fargo, I think, caused the fumble, and they're going to be back on it. Tarley was there on the hit, and it's going to go to the West Fargo Packers. Second turnover of the night against Fargo South, and the old adage, when it rains, it pours. West Fargo has a chance to put this one in the end zone, and if they do, we would be into mercy time, as again, running time would be at 30 points in North Dakota in the second half. That's a game, again, just was 14-0 after one half of play. West Fargo got a score, got up 21-0 with a Tarley 2-yard rushing touchdown midway through the third, which on the field is only 4.5 minutes ago. And then South kicked a 41-yard field goal with Dawkin, but then you get a touchdown there with Nelson that goes 37 yards. And then on the ensuing kickoff, you fumble the football here for Fargo South, and the Packers are back out there with Jancy. Nelson in the backfield, play action. Jancy has some time, goes down the field, and does Fargo South come up with the interception? They're going to say incomplete. It looks like it's incomplete at the 1-yard line. The Bruins thought they handled that one up top, as that was Locker in on the coverage. It'll be incomplete. Jancy through the air right now, 3 of 13 for 58 yards and a touchdown, but in a game like this, Jancy hasn't had to do much outside of just hand the ball off because the line has been that good opening up holes for the tailbacks. As you have Jancy in the pistol with Nelson in the backfield. This one, Parker Nelson goes right up the middle, and Tomlinson able to wrap him up. Looks like it's going to be just shy of the first down. 9 yards on the rush. 28 carries for 210 yards now for Parker Nelson. Third down and short. And there's about a 5-second differential between the game clock and the play clock, as West Fargo will have to run one more play here before we get to the fourth quarter, and they just need 1 yard for the first. Jancy, read option. Parker Nelson gets stuffed for a 2-yard loss. Fargo South Bruins, good job by Thomason coming up through that A-gap and wrapping him up for the loss. 29 carries now for 208, and that does it for a third quarter of play for the West Fargo Packers. They'll come back. A chance knocking at the door. Fourth down and short when we return here on your live event.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical North Dakota high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the North Dakota High School Activities Association and the North Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Going to NESCS, I found out way more than just like sports. I met a lot of people just on my floor, and then different activities you could go to that were on campus. I for sure will look back on all the memories and love it. My name is Grace, and I'm here for my future.
First week of college, I can't tell you how many friends I've made. It's a family, you know what I mean? Like every time I go to a meeting, like everyone knows my name. They're always kind to me. I love it. I can't explain how much I love it here. My name is Junior, and I'm here for my future.
12 minutes left in regulation here. The West Fargo Packers outscore the Fargo South Bruins in the third quarter, 14-3. A Tarley 2-yard rushing touchdown, a Nelson 37-yard rushing touchdown. Dawkin with the 41-yard field goal for Fargo South. It's fourth down and short here upcoming for the Packers. They'll need the Bruin 11. Nelson has the first down to about the 10. Just kind of hesitated a little bit as he was plateauing out from the numbers to the boundary. Nelson able to get the first down on that one, as they'll give him a good 4 yards on the rush. Might have to go to a third column here in a moment for all the carries for Nelson. 30 carries for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. We'll get to our player of the game in our post-game show, but I think you can kind of find out who that particular guy might be. Or do you say, you know what, if it wasn't for the big guys up front, maybe Nelson doesn't able to get those yards. We'll discuss that later in our post-game show as we put a bow on this one. Still ways to get there. Nelson, this one right up the middle, bouncing off his own man, and then just spins his way to about the 7-yard line. Thomason, part of the tackling party again for Fargo South also is Christian Skipple. Skipple, the 6'4 senior. Nelson able to get 2 yards on the 1st and goal carry for Nelson. Receiving, Nelson also the leading receiver, 2 receptions for 27 yards. So you look at it, he's almost had nearly 241 yards, or that's what he's had, 241 yards of offense from scrimmage. Zepeda 1 reception for 31 yards to lead the receiving crew for the longest pass from scrimmage so far here tonight. 2nd and goal at the 8. Stretch handoff again to Nelson. Nelson at the numbers. Nelson gets the 5, and oh! Nelson takes a hit at the 4-yard line. Good hit upcoming there for Fargo South. He's seen a little bit on the far side for the Bruins. Looking like Tyler Christensen was the man who wrapped up Nelson on that one. Parker able to get to the 5 yards on the gain. Again, if West Fargo punches this one in, we'll be in running time, as in North Dakota, 30 points is the mercy rule. And the Packers can smell a victory, trying to get to 3-2 on the season and earn back-to-back wins. This would also be their 3rd straight consecutive win against Fargo South if the Bruins are unable to come back in this one. Parker Nelson puts the foot in the ground, stretches for the end zone. He's in. For the 3rd time tonight, Parker Nelson hits the end zone. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns for 222 yards, and the Packers lead it 34-3. Point after attempt upcoming here. As with 10:50 left to play in the 4th quarter, Nelson has a 3-yard rushing touchdown as Hagerly comes on for the point after attempt. And that one is good. Hagerly with the PAT. We got a new score. It's West Fargo 35, Fargo South 3. We're back after this with 10:21 left to play in the 4th on your live event.
If you're in need of Minnesota and or North Dakota high school athletics coverage, head to yourliveevent.com so you don't miss out on moments like these.
Straight up the middle, bounces, he's open, he's down the field, touchdown, Nuggets!
Go to our YouTube page at Your Live Event, powered by Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated.
Intercepted!
Follow us on Twitter at Your Live Event 1 and on Facebook at Your Live Event.
As we're back here on your live event, the West Fargo Packers, that last drive went 21 yards. They'd have 2 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. The last 3 drives for the Packers, a touchdown, and a touchdown here in this second half. A final for you again, the Kinder Vikings over the Oak Grove Grovers, 41-0, and 11B Southeast Region football. We'll give you the complete rundown later tonight. Fargo North with a very impressive win over Grand Forks Red River earlier tonight. As the Spartans, right now the 3rd-rated team in 11A, showing you a reason why, as they defeated the Rough Riders 42-8 on homecoming night on the north side. Hagerly, right-footed boot, end over end. This one will go all the way back to the 6 here for Fargo South. Bruins able to get to about the 17-yard line, as that's going to be in on the return here for the Bruins. Neo Muchamanza looks to be the man who gets it back to the 18-yard line, and for Fargo South in this 4th quarter will be their first possession, the 4th of the second half. With 10:15 left to play, they'll come out, 1st down and 10. Ball will be spotted at the 18-yard line for the Bruins. The Bruins, an interception to start the game. Then after that, they had 6 consecutive punts before the field goal by their kicker and Locker, and then you had the fumble their last time out here for the Bruins. As they get a hard-earned yard on the run, Fargo South. Sandness, good to see him back in the contest. Sanders 9 carries for 51 yards. Final for you, another game on your live event. Central Cass with a very convincing win over Lisbon, 41-8. This was after the Squirrels got beat 37-rip against Kindred a week ago tonight. Fargo South comes on the shotgun formation. Nissen at quarterback, going to the tight end screen to Kessel. Kessel had the numbers to 25. Kessel gets spun and going to be close to a first down. I think they'll give it to him. They will. 9 yards on the catch. First time we've seen the tight end screen tonight, but a nice little play there that draws 9 yards up. Nissen now through the air for 45 yards. Kessel with the reception. He's got 2 catches for 25. And tell you what, the screen game in a Coach Kozel offense, we've seen everything from the tunnel screen. We've seen the bubble. We've seen the running back screen game, and now we see a tight end screen. So you see a little bit of everything here from Coach Kozel in Fargo South. Again, with Nissen, the sophomore quarterback, the key trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly, allow him to make 1 or 2 reads and try to get north to south. And Sadness going to get buried. Ballstead, part of the party there, in on the tackle for the West Fargo Packers as Sadness maybe gets a yard. West Fargo coming up a little bit late is Lucas Allen, as Allen right now might need to get attended to on at the 27-yard line as he's trying to muster it off, and there he does, able to come off under his own power. Sadness now 10 carries for 51 yards, the leading rusher here for Fargo South. You got 12 seconds on the play clock as the Bruins will have to break the huddle here pretty quickly. Again, off an incompletion, the clock will continue to go. If the ball goes out of bounds, the clock will continue to go. Here with this mercy time, Nissen has some time, flips it down the field looking for Kessel. Incomplete at the West Fargo 47-yard line. Coverage by the Packers. Hofflin, the defensive back, a sophomore coming in. And Kessel, with this frame at 6'3", kind of like playing a little box out in basketball, trying to get that 20 yards, incomplete. 3rd down and 10 now for Fargo South. The Bruins will drop to 1-4 on the season, but still, again, 3 of their last 4 games are all regional games, and they have everything in front of them to still try to make the postseason here in 2021. Nissen unwinds down the field, incomplete over the outstretched arms of Jack Corbel at the Packer 30-yard line as they're looking for the big home run play there. And you see Nissen, he's got the arm strength. He can roll, he can move. He's got the little scat back ability from a quarterback standpoint. The one thing is just trying to continue to get that man some more confidence, continue to build on the plays. And these are the old growing pains. Sometimes when you play a lot of sophomores, guys who are playing their first Friday Night Lights, kind of have to go through the growing pains here as a program, and that's what Fargo South is doing. As that ball is blocked, West Fargo picks it up at the 16, and they run it in the end zone. The Packers on the block, and then coming in on that one for West Fargo as that goes into the end zone for the score. And the Packers are able to rush that one in with Tarley. So Tarley gets that one to come in, and West Fargo again with another brilliant play. This one, it goes on special teams. So the Packers now just add another score, kind of insult to injury here with 6:10 left in the ball game. That one, Tarley gets a 14-yard kickoff, make that a punt return block for a touchdown. Kick is good by Hagerly, who's 6 of 6 now through the air on point after attempts. 42-3 West Fargo. If you're Coach Jay Gibson, your last 2 games you beat Davies 42-6, and now you lead 42-3. And this is kind of what, anytime you talk about a West Fargo program from the start of a season, by the time they get to October, a club that continues to develop, a club that continues to get better with some non-conference games here. And Coach Gibson's got to love what he's seen so far here tonight against the Fargo South Bruins. 42-3 Pack in this contest. The West Fargo Packers now will win 8 of their last 9 contests dating back to 2013 against Fargo South. This will be 3 straight for the Bruins as well. Last win for the Bruins on the 2018 on October the 5th. These programs, again, a lot of history since The Dakota Bowl started in 1993, a combined 12 state championships between these two programs since 93. Two teams that you've had to go through in the EDC to try to get to state and alongside get to that state title. Here comes Fargo South. They get to the edge and then get pushed out of bounds at about the 24-yard line as that's hands guard. And Fargo South will start with the football at the 25. For Fargo South, this will be their 5th possession of the second half. And we'll see how both of these coaches will play the remainder of this one out. They get some new guys some reps, or they continue to allow those that have started to get into the game. Looks like West Fargo bringing in some new players in the back. Stephen Edwards III, a 5'8 senior, will come in and play safety. Also coming in on late, Riley Prock, now a 6'4 junior linebacker for the Packers. Nissen in the gun, still has some time, fires with the catch at the 29-yard line, and Hansgaard able to get past the 30 to the 31 for 6 yards. And Hansgaard able to get his first reception of the evening. Make that his second, he had one earlier for 3 yards. 51 yards passing now for Nissen as Fargo South quickly gets the line. 2nd down and 3.5 upcoming. Trips left, one right-hand side. Packers will rush for Nissen on a little hitch route. Finds his man there in Seth Koskela. Koskela has the first for 5 yards. Coming in on the tackle is Tarley. Koskela now 2 receptions for 10 yards. And Fargo South now through the air, 56 yards passing. In the second half, Fargo South with 3 punts, a field goal, and then they fumbled the kickoff. We'll see if the Bruins can try to get in the end zone for the first time tonight late. Packers have just allowed a 41-yard field goal, and that's it. Nissen, pocket collapses, looks down the field, incomplete on the outstretched arms of Koskela. Right in a deep post pattern 20 yards down the field, and the clock will continue to wind here with 4:20 left to play in the 4th quarter. For highlights or games throughout the week up and down the Red River Valley, whether we have you from Lisbon to Tower City to Hillsboro, Climax Fisher, Ada Borup, West Hawley, around the Red River Valley, again, we got you covered. Go to yourliveevents.com. Follow us on Facebook or check us out on social media as well on Twitter. From football, soccer, and volleyball here in the fall. 3 seconds left on the play clock. Fargo South gets set. Nissen, 3-step drop, fires, and that's going to be complete for the Bruins for the first down. That one goes to Hansgaard for another 10-yard play. Hansgaard, 3 receptions for 19 yards. West Fargo right now bringing in some new guys up front as we see Gavin Johnson, a 6'2 junior, into the contest. Get to continue to see Jack Stewart now playing in on the inside. On the outside, you have Austin Bewer continues to get in some reps for the senior Packer. First down and 10. Shotgun formation. Nissen has some time to throw. Does as his man gets to 50. That's about 3 yards on the catch for Fargo South, and that'll go to Koskela, who took a little hit afterwards as well and earned those 3 yards. 69 yards passing now for Nissen. Koskela, 3 receptions for 13 yards. On this drive alone, Nissen is 4 of 5 through the air passing, so you're getting a little bit of a rhythm. What you want getting into the week of practice, and go to Wahpeton and put something good on the film here with under 3 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Nissen takes a deep drop. We'll see if he goes for a long ball, looking for Kessel, who's double covered. Kessel comes back for this one at the 15. Incomplete. Nissen took the shot on that one. 3rd down upcoming here for Fargo South as the Packers continue to get some new players. Sam Van Vliet, the 6'3 junior, into the contest. Another man up front here for Fargo South. Looks to be Alvarado. 3rd down for Fargo South. They'll have trips to the near sideline for the Bruins. Kessel, part of that, as he lines up at the hash. Nissen goes to the outside, makes a man miss for the Bruins to the 40. They get the first down to the 38-yard line. 12 yards on the pitch and catch here for Fargo South, and a healthy gain. Evan Booth, the 5'11 junior. Booth gets 13 yards, and for Fargo South, currently now with 82 yards passing for Nissen. Question is, will the clock run out? 90 seconds and counting here for Fargo South, a game that kicked off at 7:08, just over 2 hours old right now. Nissen to the 40-yard line, then Nissen gets wrapped up there to about the 38, 1 yard on the rush. 8 carries for 17 yards. Sandnes has 10 for 51. Second down upcoming here for Fargo South. West Fargo Packers scored in every quarter for the Fargo South Bruins. Their only points came so far in the third. Have a chance, though, to get a couple of plays in here for Fargo South. 13 seconds on the play clock. As, again, they can get 1 or 2 more plays off here and try to continue to build into next week when they have a date with the Huskies of Wahpeton. This one incomplete at the 29-yard line. And we'll have one more final play here for the Fargo South Bruins before we get to the end of this one. 3rd down and 9 for Fargo South of the Packer 38-yard line. And this looks to be our final play of the game. The play clock is 4 seconds behind the game clock, so if Nissen doesn't get this one off in 5-4, he does. This is the final play unless we have a defensive penalty going down the middle of the field, and that one is going to be picked off by Fargo South at the 5. Stephen Edwards III gets in the stat column here for the Packers with the interception. That'll be the 3rd turnover of the game on Fargo South. A final tonight from Fargo South. West Fargo wins it 42-3 over the Bruins. Post-game show is next on your live event.
The Ada EDA is committed to improving the quality of life for Ada residents by providing assistance to new and small businesses, developing and assisting with affordable housing to provide economic growth in our community, and including building incentives with affordable lots in great locations with amenities, and also city property tax abatement and free city utilities. For information, contact City of Ada 784-5522 or visit the City of Ada website adamn.gov.
Schedules can be a slippery slope. With YourLiveEvent.com, that's just not the case. Find schedules for select Minnesota and North Dakota high school athletics at our website. That's www.yourliveevent.com. For schedule updates, follow our social media pages. Never miss again when it comes to scheduling with Your Live Event.
For all your flooring needs, look no further than Carlson Customs Incorporated. From tile, Cortex, and laminate flooring, waterproof floors, shower tiles, and carpet, you are sure to find what you need to update or create the perfect feel in your home or business. Locally owned and operated, Carlson Customs Incorporated. Call Todd at 218-531-0176.
As we're back here on our post-game show to put a bow on this one, say a recap on what happened in this contest here tonight between these two proud programs. For the West Fargo Packers, 7 points in the first, 7 points in the second, 14 in the third, and 14 in the fourth. Fargo South scoreless in every quarter but the third via the 41-yard field goal by Dockin. At the half, it was 14-0 West Fargo. Tarley had a 2-yard rushing touchdown with 5:25 left to play in the third to make it 21-0 Packers. Fargo South responded with 2:22 left to play in the third. Dockin with a 41-yard field goal. His longest field goal on the season. He's got one from 40 and one from 41. West Fargo, though, would answer with 1:04 left to play in the third. Parker Nelson goes 37 yards at the time. That was Nelson's second rushing touchdown, made it 28-3 Packers. 10:50 left to play in the game. Nelson with a 3-yard rushing touchdown. Hagerly with the point after attempt, 35-3. Packers get the block punt. Tarley takes it to the house from 14 yards for the score, and that was your scoring recap, 42-3 the final, as West Fargo wins this contest. Let's take a look at the final numbers in this one. For the West Fargo Packers, they would finish with 301 yards of total offense, 44 rushes for 243 yards on the ground for Jay Gibson's Packers, 58 yards through the air. West Fargo 0 turnovers, 4 penalties for 30 yards. For the Fargo South Bruins, they would finish with 150 yards of total offense, 68 on the ground, 82 through the air. The Bruins had make that 3 penalties for 30 yards and 3 interceptions. For the West Fargo Packers, leading man Parker Nelson, 33 carries for 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tarley, 8 carries for 55 as well for West Fargo. Jancy through the air, 3 of 13 for 58 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown went to Zepeda for 31 yards. Nelson, 2 receptions for 27 yards. So Nelson in this contest finished with 249 yards of total offense from scrimmage for West Fargo. For the Fargo South Bruins, through the air, Nissen goes 12 of 31 for 82 yards and a pair of interceptions. Nissen on the ground, 8 carries for 17 yards, and Sanders 10 carries for 51 yards. Costello, 3 receptions for 13, 3 receptions for Hansgaard for 19. Corbel had 2 for 8. Kessel had 2 for 25. Sanders 1 for 5, and Booth 1 for 13 here for the Fargo South Bruins. Let's now name you our player of the game. Got to get it to the guys up front and also put the cherry on top, Parker Nelson again. 33 carries, 222 yards of rushing offense just by Parker Nelson, and 3 touchdowns here for the senior. In his last 2 games, Parker Nelson now for West Fargo has rushed for 7 touchdowns, and alongside with that, he's rushed for 383 yards of offense here for the West Fargo Packers. Again, your final, West Fargo wins this contest 42-3 here at Fargo South. The Packers now improve to 4, make that 3-2 on the season. Fargo South, they drop to 1-4 on the year. Next up for West Fargo, they will have a date with Bismarck Legacy. That'll be on October the 1st at home. For Fargo South, they travel down I-29 for a date with the Huskies of Wahpeton. On behalf of Chris Crick, our cameraman, I'm Chase Miller, repeating tonight's final. The West Fargo Packers win it 42-3 over the Fargo South Bruins on homecoming night for Fargo South. Thank you very much for watching the contest on Your Live Event. For more action throughout next week as we get to October, go to yourliveevent.com for soccer, volleyball, and some more football. Again, Your Live Event. Packers win it on this one. Until next time, have a great rest of your Friday night and a good weekend from Fargo South High School.